pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
Sports on CBC, les championnats U-Sport, brought to you in part by, vous êtes présenté par Nike Team Just Do It, faites-le. Baron, exclusive supplier of U-Sports championship rings. Le fournisseur exclusif des bagues de championnat U-Sport. Fox 40 celebrating a decade of the Fox 40 U-Sports Coach of the Year program. Fier partenaire des prix de l'entraîneur de l'année U-Sport depuis 10 ans. By Veriburn, proud medical supplier to university sports since 1979. Fier partenaire du sport universitaire depuis 1979. The Government of Canada. Le gouvernement du Canada, and by Saint-Hubert, proud partners of the U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship, et par Saint-Hubert, fier partenaire du championnat de hockey féminin U-Sport.
Welcome to the 2023 U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC. I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Graham Naismith for this gold medal game live from Sepsim at the University of Montreal. From 8 teams to the final 2, a gold medal game for the history books. The first time an 8 seed wins their way to the U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship final. The Canada West finalists, Mount Royal University Cougars from Calgary, Alberta, taking on the defending national champions, the number 3 seed this year, Concordia Stingers, and it's the Stingers crowd behind them in their home city. An incredible 2 games, Graham, from both these 2 teams to bring them to this moment, and of course a chance to play for the Golden Path Trophy.
Yeah, and looking at that bracket right now, it's very tempting to put this as a David versus Goliath matchup, a Cinderella story from the Mount Royal Cougars making it to the final, but in my opinion, it's anything but. Looking at that quarterfinal between Toronto and Mount Royal, that one could have gone either way. Sure, it'd be easy to say that the 1 seed should beat the 8th seed, but that one could have gone either way. If any Concordia fans out there think that this is going to be a coronation, a waltz to the U-Sports National Championship, it's going to be anything but. This is going to be a very tight game for the Golden Path Trophy.
Graham Naismith bringing us analysis tonight, and right now the teams taking to the ice. This is the biggest crowd of the weekend as to be expected for a gold medal matchup like this, and we will get into that Cinderella story for Mount Royal in just a moment, considering how far the program has come since the school itself transitioned from a college to a university and then joined Canada West exactly 10 years ago. We're getting set now for the opening ceremonies, and we'll let the in-house announcer take it away.
Treaty and wishes to salute those who, from time immemorial, have been its traditional guardians. She expresses her respect for the contribution of indigenous peoples to the culture of societies here and around the world. Accueillons maintenant sur la glace du Sepsum. Let's now welcome on the Sepsum Highs 2 representatives, 2 représentants des Benchim M11 de Mont-Royal Outremont, Julia Gasparini et Amanda Alcori. Sans plus attendre, voici la présentation du personnel pour l'Université Montreal. Without further ado, the head coach for the Montreal Cougars, Scott Rivaud.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
Defense, number 91, Alexandra.
Welcome back to the gold medal game of the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC. We're just getting set here inside Septimus, the University of Montreal, welcoming in the defending champion, Concordia Stingers, as their starting lineup meets the blue line, and we get set now for the national anthem after a ceremonial puck drop.
Accueillons maintenant, qui continue le cérémonie. Please give a warm welcome to la vice-rectrice adjointe aux affaires étudiantes de l'Université de Montréal, Madame Chantal Farran, ainsi que la directrice générale des Carabins du CEPSOM, Madame Manon Simard. Nous invitons maintenant les capitaines des deux équipes à se rendre au centre de la patinoire pour la mise au jeu protocolaire. We now invite the captains of both teams to come to the center of the ice for the ceremonial puck drop. Mesdames, Messieurs, veuillez maintenant vous lever, retirer chapeaux et casquettes pour l'interprétation de notre hymne national. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your hats and caps for the singing of our national anthem. Elle a du talent en chant, en danse et devant la caméra, et c'est une fervente des événements sportifs. She's talented in singing, dancing and acting, and she's a fan of sporting events. Mesdames, Messieurs, veuillez accueillir Mademoiselle Elisabeth Laurence.
Au Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front est ceint de fleurons glorieux, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée. Il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Welcome back. The 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship, the final game, 11. 8 teams now down to 2. And it's been an incredible weekend in Montreal, and that's why the home city is here for the Concordia Stingers, not the hosts, as the Montreal Carabins were just playing in the bronze game. They finished 4th, falling 3-2 to Canada West UBC Thunderbirds for their second bronze ever. I'm Daniela Ponticelli alongside Graham Naismith, but we are here to talk gold, and what a story it will be. Either a brand new champion, first ever national win, or a defending win for the Stingers awaits.
Yeah, and we take a look at Alice Philbert in goal for the Concordia Stingers. She's trying to join some elite company to become the first goaltender in quite a while to win 2 national championships as the goaltender of record. The last person to do that was Charlene Levante with the McGill Martlets, who was so good throughout the years. A curious note is actually a goaltender who played in this barn for a while, had a claim to that. Elodie Rousseau-Sirois was on 2 national championship teams, but she was not the goaltender of record for one of those championships. And there's a good look at Alice Philbert right there, one of the top goaltenders in the country.
and she will also be graduating. So this is a big statement finale for Alice Filbert. Over on the other net, the other number 32 on the ice, that being Caitlin Ross.
And Caitlin Ross has been so good for this program. She's really allowed them to shine. Look, Concordia's a team of stars. They've got the star power. They've got the All-Canadians. Mount Royal, not so much, but they're a team of equals, and they play really well together. That's how they've gotten to this point. They pulled off a couple of upsets on paper, and they're very deserving of being here in the big final game in front of a packed house here at Sepsum.
Starters on the ice for the Mount Royal University Cougars, Captain Tatum Amy, another graduating player, Emma Bergeson, Laura Cook, Aaliyah Joma, Courtney Coleman. Over for the Stingers, Sandrine Veillette, Rosalie Béjancier, Jassimo Drapeau, Emmy Fecto, and Andriane Boyer. As we get set now, the teams are feeling the energy.
An interesting note, this is Mount Royal's first time in the National Championship final. Concordia has been 3 times previously. They have won 3 times.
As we will see, history will be made one way or another. And there it goes, the puck drop on this gold medal game. A fresh 60 minutes of regulation awaits. And 2 teams that have been an absolute pleasure to watch throughout this tournament, getting those 2 wins needed to bring themselves to this final. And the Stingers take it away early. Rosalie Béjancier up along the near side will test Caitlin Ross first in the glove.
Mount Royal has to hang around through the first 5 minutes. Concordia scored an early goal in both of their previous games here at the National Championship. With this crowd and this Stingers offense, Mount Royal cannot afford to concede inside the first 5 minutes.
Mount Royal knows what it takes to win championships. They are the RSEQ champions as it is, getting themselves to this tournament. And now the Cougars, as they look to test Alice Filbert early on. Kaya Borbandy, who put away an empty netter in this tournament, out on the ice. Stingers, though, moving it quick. Over on the other end, looking for those feeds near the slot. Creating those lanes as they know how to do. Stingers still looking to be effective 5-on-5. Graham will break that down in just a moment, but right now, setting up Leonie Filbert, interrupted by Kaya Borbandy. And Mackenzie Butts trying to get her stick on the puck for MRU. Tori Williams, another graduating player, in blue for the Mount Royal University Cougars. They do have a fairly sizable graduating class from this team right now, and so this is a very big game for all of them. And the Stingers, a different team from last year despite being defending champions. And now setting up with a big one. It rims around the boards. And play now underway in the neutral zone over the far side. Again, another chance to stay and sustain pressure in the Cougar zone, down along the near side boards. Cameron Amundsen coming away with it. Looking who will be there, Morgan Ramsey. She got the game winner in the semifinal. Morgan Ramsey back up to Lindsay James. James down the slot, right in front of the net. That nearly tipped in. The Stingers defend. And again, the crowd you hear, mostly Stingers fans, but the Cougars crowd also traveling well, taking up the seats to our broadcast right. And now a big chip up and down. The Cougars, the visiting team, being the lowest seed overall, but also just the lower seed here, of course. And Courtney Coleman watching the puck trickle back into her zone as they come to collect Abby Borbandy, the younger sister of Kaya.
And this is Abby Borbandy's first appearance at this national championship. That's the only team news to report, really. Jory Hanson-Young out for the Cougars. She actually scored a goal in the quarterfinal, not appearing here in the final. So it's Borbandy who takes her first appearance on the ice here at Sepsum. No lineup changes for Concordia. They're sticking with that same lineup that served them very, very well thus far.
And we see a shot of the Cougars bench and head coach Scott Rivet. He's had championship experience before, but not in U Sports back when the programs were on the college level. And now we take a look at what a blocked shot there, but lost track of the puck, and it's no good. The Cougars crowd loves it though, Graham.
Bit of an early whistle there from the official, but look, she lost sight of the puck, and this is a big moment for these referees as well, getting a shot in the national championship final.
Yeah, we have Grace Barlow, Michelle McKenna as your referees tonight, and on the lines, Stephanie Gagnon and Justine Todd.
So there the official lost sight of the puck, deemed that Ross had it. Ultimately she didn't, but no harm, no foul. It's a draw to her left.
And the Cougars trying to press it up along the far side wall. Again, Concordia yet to score at even strength, but they have put plenty of goals, enough, of course, to get them into this final. Now Kaya Borbandy and Alice Filbert with a save down the slot. An easy read there, open ice. Alice Filbert only allowing 1 goal in each game, and last year she shut out every single one of Concordia's opponents through their 3-game run to the title. Settling it down, Laura Cook. Looking for some support in the slot again. Kiana McNinch, she's put together 2 assists so far on the weekend. Protected from the near side point, Cook. Another veteran who will be missed from the program next year in number 24. The Stingers continue to press on. Lindsay Janes intercepts in the neutral zone. Chases on for Drapeau. Yassimo has also put up numbers on the score sheet. And the crowd is definitely a participant in this game today. The gold medal game, game number 11 of the tournament. And now Emily Lavoie thought she was clear. And intercepted by Lindsay Janes giving chase. And that'll get scooped up by Leonie Filbert. Filbert coming in hot with the Stingers line, and a big shot on. It goes wide. Down to the near side. Filbert, Lavoie trying to work it out for the Stingers, and a blocked shot by Gendreau. Chloé Gendreau with a good look. The intensity is right here, Graham.
Yeah, and that was all created by Leonie Filbert, flying up through the middle, the smooth skating defender, throwing a couple of crossovers in through the neutral zone to keep the defense off balance.
Alexandrienne finding her line mates now. Although Ava Metzger has some other plans. She's looking out for Emma Bergeson. It's been tremendous on the defense. And a shot towards the net just to bring the action back down deep into the Cougar zone. It will be a game where possession time, of course, a huge factor, as it always is, but especially when you have netminders like Filbert and Ross. Captain Olivia Hale bringing that leadership to the team, one of the graduating players from Concordia. And another shot, Tess Ross up in the air. And the Cougars crowd goes wild. Now Mount Royal mounting an attack out of their zone, and Kaya Borbandy leading it. Little drop pass, looking for Metzger. She gets caught up on Chancier. And now Concordia again, Emmy Fecteau looking for all kinds of room, trying to open those lanes. Tori Williams defending. And the Cougars able to claw out of their zone yet again. Athena Hawk up along the near side wall. Brianne Trotter as well. She got the game winner in the quarterfinal. Now McNinch back behind the net of Filbert. Younger sister Leonie Filbert right there to help. Kept in on the point by McNinch. Now Amundsen. She's pushed to the outside. Plenty of perimeter play underway here in this gold medal game. If you're just joining us, whistles at a premium. And Alexandria Spence, who's also got a goal under her belt this weekend, out on the line. Concordia settling it down. Jessimo Drapeau looking to fire it in. And the crowd is just getting rowdier, louder here inside Sepsum at the University of Montreal. Not the home barn of Concordia, but close enough, Graham.
Yeah, and the Cougars, I think, doing an okay job of trying to take the crowd out of this game. They haven't had much to cheer about, but this crowd featuring a lot of student athletes from Concordia, as the Stingers go offside there, are really letting their voices be heard.
And just talking about whistles being at a premium, that is what seems to be like one of the first stoppages of the game so far. But overall, how are you seeing things develop here, Graham?
Well, one thing that I'm very interested in is that Concordia is technically the home team here, but they're on the road bench. They're on the bench to our left that you can see on your screen right now. That's the bench that they've been on all tournament and the bench they were on all regular season. It may not seem like much, but every little bit helps in a national championship final.
And another test of Ross making the save. And the rebound secured by the Cougars. Not quite. Emma Bergeson trying to finish it off, but instead will be sent up by Moquin Joubert.
And as we take a look at Ross, one issue earlier in this tournament was the nets were always being pushed off. They've actually solved that, so the nets aren't drilled into the ice. The ice it's not thick enough to drill into it. So they actually took the pegs from the Ed Mahar Arena at Concordia and are now using those pegs here. They've got 3 prongs in them instead of the 1 prong as they were at Sepsum earlier in the week, and it's really made a world of difference. We've especially seen that today.
We started to see that throughout semifinals Saturday. After the first game, there were a number of stoppages, Graham. So it is great to see all of that is settled here, especially for this high-stakes gold medal final. And Philbert from the point. Ross trying to track the puck through traffic. Metzger up to Borbandy, and what a hit. Borbandy will just have to take it as no whistle blown there. Another chance for Concordia. Bejancyr swarming in front. Ross with 2 massive saves. And Cougars remain in control. Now McNinch trying to weave through. Looking for that support from Abby Borbandy. Again, her first time here this weekend. At least on the ice, she's been watching her team succeed and bring them to this game. She steps in for Jory Hanson-Young, who's been tremendous as well for the Cougars. Now down near the near side wall rather. Bejancyr trying to get her stick in on it. It's 3 Stingers, 2 Cougars now, and the puck is loose. Sent back the other way. Batted in by Camille Richard. And Ross letting it play on.
That's interesting. No icing called there. We'll see if the Cougars can use it.
And now coming in with so much speed is Morgan Ramsey. The crowd, the Stingers crowd getting wound up here. This is their home city of Montreal. Laura Cook looking for that feed. Now Boyer hoping to meet the puck before Amundsen. It'll be a battle now just behind the net. Metzger up to Cook. Bergeson adding some finesse. Now Amundsen getting pestered by Boyer. Captain Tatum Amy also graduating this year. She's been a tremendous leader. This is her 6th academic year to take that full 5 years of U Sports eligibility since the pandemic, and it'll play on as Ross gloves it and sets it right back down. And the Cougars again kept alive by Caitlin Ross. Olivia Hale sliding just behind her own goal line. Now Gendreau to Thibault. Thibault intercepted by Abby Borbandy. Aaliyah Joma on the ice as well for the Cougars in blue. Well, just as quickly, Justine Niel looking to make a difference, and a big shot down that'll bounce off the glass and bring it close to Zoe Thibault. But the Cougars again, Coleman will just fire it down. No, that's stopped instead by Hale. Concordia Stingers taking any momentum out of what's generating here as they continue on. Who will be the first to crack the scoreboard as we are into the final 9 minutes of the first period. Kiana McNinch back behind the Cougars net.
Also interesting, no penalties thus far. It's going to be so crucial for the Cougars to be disciplined.
And the Stingers setting up. Just getting hounded by this smothering defense so far. But can the Cougars keep it up? Leonie Filbert looking for that pass back behind the net, and instead the puck is loose and sailing towards the net of Alice Filbert.
By this point in every game thus far in the national championships, Concordia has been up by multiple goals and had multiple power plays. They've got nothing thus far through the first 12 minutes.
Camille Richard now trying to work it for Concordia just as quickly the puck is freed and sent back. Athena Hawk looking for that pass. The crowd is so loud here. Emma Bergeson putting on some speed. A little drop pass to Lindsay James. And right in front of the net is Morgan Ramsey. And the Stingers crowd doing what they can to add a little bit of power to this Stingers play. And a sharp angled pass to the near side boards. Amundsen down now. Emily Lavoie. Not many to beat. Trying to set up. She'll slow it down. Zoe Thibault setting up. Looking for those passes. The Cougars instead. Williams now. Back to the far wall. A back and forth affair here in the gold medal game. Zoe Thibault thought she could get control. Can't do it. Now Aaliyah Joma has a chance. She fires it. Kick save. Stick side by Alice Filbert.
The puck dropped here at 7:10 local time. It's currently 7:26, so we've played about 13 minutes in 13 real-time minutes, more or less, or 16 minutes, I guess. But this pace has been really fast thus far. Few whistles to speak of.
And the Cougars, Coleman coming in, just looking to send it down deep, which she does, so Mount Royal can reset. Now Laura Cook out on the ice along with Emma Bergeson. Trying to protect the neutral zone, and the Stingers doing their bit now. Chloé Gendreau and Emmy Fecteau touches the backboard. The crowd, rather, that was Bureau Gagnon. 19 instead of 29. Sydney Benko, though, trying to bank the boards and keep it in play for the Cougars right in front of the net. Another chance. Shot towards Filbert. She makes the save. And again, the play continues. Both sides feeling momentum building here, coming in fast. And driving close to Caitlin Ross. Stopped by Athena Hawk. The Cougars play so far outstanding, but will both teams have it in them to keep things scoreless? We'll see how it goes.
And Cougars are going to have to play almost a perfect hockey game here against the Concordia Stingers, but they've been pretty good thus far.
Now Emmy Fecteau getting in close. Ross with the save, but could it go in? It's covered up, and it's saved. Another chance. That one high. What a sequence of events, though, for the Stingers. Another one ripped down by Alexandrienne Boyer, rather.
That may be the first mistake for the Cougars, allowing the 2-on-1 rush. And then off of the save from Ross, a bit of a scramble, and then they're forced to ice it. But they survive the early pressure from Concordia.
And Graham, I touched on it a little earlier, but the Stingers have yet to score at even strength.
They've scored 8 goals this national championship, 7 on the power play, 1 into an empty net when it was 6-on-5. And here's a look at that Fecteau chance. There, and then it... Anyways, and here we go. There's the shot. Bit of a rebound there from Ross, and then she's sprawled out. Somehow it does not go. Cougars survive.
Chloé Gendreau takes it away in the offensive zone draw. Thibault as well out on the ice. As the Stingers set up Hale now, looking for that lane, and it's right in the leather of Caitlin Ross.
A lot of Concordia's goals thus far in the national championship have been scored from long shots. We saw that from Emmy Fecteau against the UBC Thunderbirds last night, where she just kind of walked in and from the top of the circles wired one past. And is there actually a timeout taken here?
All right, looks to be so, as the Cougars bench will reset.
Unless it's a TV timeout?
It is, you are correct. This is something we have not yet experienced, of course, in the tournament. So this gold medal game does get a media break, and we will head to it. But we will continue to take a conversation here.
Yeah, well, they're actually, it's stopped for the French language feed because it is on TVA Sport here in Quebec. So they're stopping this. There's probably one stoppage every period, I'd have to say. But it does slow things down because we were just talking. So right now it's 7:30 local time here in Montreal. The puck dropped at 7:10. So 20 minutes have gone by out in the real world, as they say. And on the clock, we've just passed 7 minutes. So we're flying here in this first period. Whistles at a premium, back and forth stuff. Maybe a few more chances for Concordia, but in any case, it's really been going back and forth. So I think both teams kind of welcoming, and maybe not the teams, but the coaching staffs, I think, welcoming, being able to slow this down, talk to their team, and it's really an opportunity to go in there and have an intervention, talk to a couple of players, talk to a group, and before they get back out there on the ice, the coaches can relay what they've been seeing from up there on the bench.
Graham Naismith, Daniela Ponticelli with you here for this gold medal game on CBC. MRU Cougars, just their second appearance at Nationals, their first one cut short due to the pandemic in 2020, but they put together 3 straight wins in 3 games in their Nationals appearances. And normally when a team says that, that means a championship. But in their case, it's 2 quarterfinal wins and a semifinal win to bring them to this game. And so they fight on, the Cougars, the number 8 seed meeting the number 3, but defending champion Concordia Stingers. Game moving at a good clip, as Graham Naismith was saying earlier. Leonie Philbert looking for Drapeau. Now up to the top. A great crowd here at Sepsum at the University of Montreal, including for the Canada West finalists, despite this very much being a Montreal game in this city.
And here comes the first power play for the Stingers.
This could be dangerous. We know just how effective this team is. When you look at just this weekend alone, they have gone 7 for 14 on the power play through 2 games, Graham.
Yeah, right, you are, and that's really the only way they've been able to score thus far. So this will be vital here. But then again, it's interesting, Mount Royal 4 for 4 on the penalty kill. So that tells me 2 things. They've been very good on the penalty kill. They also haven't taken many penalties.
We'll see how that stands here. The Stingers certainly confident on their power play, as we discussed that that's where they've had their success finding twine. And Amalie Lavoie being among those who's made a difference. And now back behind the net of Caitlin Ross into the Concordia power play through the first 30 seconds. Chloé Gendreau setting up, looking for that space, and a shot. It's saved by Ross. She read it from Lavoie.
And then it was sitting there at the side of the goal. Good clearance by that defender.
And another chance as the play continues on. Again, Lavoie, Boyer, and that one stopped by Lindsay James.
That's what the Cougars will need to do. They'll need to clog up shooting lanes and block shots. Nipissing were unable to do that, and they ended up giving up 4 power play goals to Concordia, almost all of them from long drives from the point. If the shot didn't go in, then it resulted in a scramble that Concordia then pounced on.
And Emmy Fecteau looking up, trying to set it for Camille Richard. Now Fecteau again. There's another block shot, that one from Ramsey. And the Cougars clear that one out. They came in with a mission on this penalty kill. They know what's at stake, not only the gold medal game, but the fact that Concordia has player advantage. Batted out Ava Metzger, but close enough. What a chance for the defending champs. Now Tatum Amy with a redirect. They're shorthanded, but Alexandria Spence settling the puck down, and that is the first penalty kill for Mount Royal that has been sealed. And so Moquin Joubert will fire it down. The Cougars come through. And
go figure, maybe the best opportunity on that power play was actually off the rush when it was Fecteau who went in and just fired it wide.
Richard to Courtney Rice. Now Thibault along the wall. Olivia Hale trying to send it back down. The Stingers. Rice being met along the boards by Athena Hawk. Hawk. Looking for that feed up, it's missed, and so they'll continue play.
And just a note, it shows on your screen there's still a power.
And now, in front, Aaliyah Joma. Courtney Coleman is right on the doorstep. Will it go in? No, that one fired off hard, though. Laura Cook meeting it halfway by the boards. Final minute here in the first period. Non-stop action so far. Still scoreless. Amy. And it's Philbert who will just cover it up right along the bottom of the net, Graham.
Yeah, and just a note on your screen, it shows there is still a power play. Obviously, that expired about a minute ago. But yeah, hearts in the throats moment for a second there for the Stingers, as it was kind of low along the ice, and Philbert had her blocker down, and then it kind of ricocheted along the net. And it looked like it may have been hitting the netting on the inside of the goal, but I guess it was just Philbert's stick touching some sort of the mesh.
And so an offensive zone draw for the Cougars. Butts looking for that chance. That was a close one. Lindsay James set up for it. No, Kaya Borbandy instead. And the Stingers, Fecto with a shot from the far point, scooped up by Alexandria Spence. Spence to Metzger. And now Benko. Benko coming up, tries to fire it, that one blocked. Philbert nearly caught out of position, a little too far out. She's back in. And the Cougars, Morgan Ramsey, final 10 seconds to go here. James, Stingers, Bejan Cyr. And the final seconds wind down. We are scoreless through the first 20 in this gold medal game, and that included a Concordia Stingers power play, and that's where they found all their success except for one empty net goal throughout the tournament to bring the defending championships back to this gold medal game. The number 8 seed, Mount Royal University Cougars, certainly showing their strength as well as the Canada West finalists coming to their very first medal game. Graham.
Well, the Cougars proved they can hang with the Stingers.
And now we'll hear from Cougars captain Tatum Amy down bench side.
Tatum, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Tatum Amy joining us now from the Mount Royal Cougars. Tatum, you're the captain of this team. You're in the last year, and you guys are just the underdog Cinderella story. What's it been like all weekend long?
It's been amazing. The team, we were ready for this all year long. This was our goal, so we were very excited to be here.
You're making some big fans out of our viewers and the people here in Montreal. You've got a large crowd supporting your opposition. How do you handle that in the dressing room and on the ice?
Yeah, I think we're just taking it one period at a time. We're just, our big motto right now is just to enjoy every moment, and I think that's the thing that we should be doing.
I want to talk about Caitlin Ross a little bit. Give her a little bit of love. She's been absolutely lights out for you guys, and you guys have been really opportunistic the other way. Are you going to rely on Caitlin the rest of the way, or are you going to try and pot one in here in the second period?
Yeah, we always want to pot one in for her, but she's been our rock this entire playoff series and then into nationals. When she's calm, we're calm, so for sure we're going to try to pot one for her.
Tatum, I'm sure we're going to see you on the score sheet too. You'd like to pass the puck around, and you had a ton of success this year, so congratulations on a good year for the Cougars, and best of luck chasing this gold medal.
Thank you.
Cougars captain Tatum Amy taking questions from our very own Isabelle Germain as we are scoreless through the first 20 minutes of the gold medal game. We'll be back with more. You're watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC.
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
Every year, U Sports celebrates its best student athletes, honoring major accomplishments in each sport. Here are the nominees and the winner of the 2023 U Sports Rookie of the Year Award.
The nominees for the U Sports Women's Hockey Rookie of the Year are, en nomination pour le prix de la recrue de l'année en hockey féminin U-Sport 2023, des sports universitaires de l'Atlantique from the AUS, Oriana McNeil, Université de l'Île-du-Prince-Édouard, UPEI, du Réseau du sport étudiant du Québec from the RSEQ, Jade Picard, Université de Montréal, Montreal, du sport universitaire de l'Ontario from the OUA, Kiana McKibben, l'Université de Windsor, University of Windsor, et de l'Association Ouest Canadienne from Canada West, Sydney Mercier, Université de Calgary, University of Calgary. La recrue de l'année en hockey féminin U-Sport est, the winner of the U-Sports Rookie of the Year in women's hockey is, Sydney Mercier, Université de Calgary, University of Calgary.
Welcome back to the gold medal game of the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC. I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Graham Naismith. We are getting set for the second period of play here. Coming in scoreless, both the number 8 seed Mount Royal University Cougars taking on the number 3 seed yet defending champion Concordia Stingers. Both programs helmed by some fantastic talent, and here we see the Stingers lining up to step out. And Graham, they've got a fantastic head coach in Julie Chu.
Yeah, Julie Chu's done wonders for this program, building off the work that Les Lawton did for so many years, and she's really taken it to another level, especially in the last couple of seasons here. Obviously, they've really been on a great stretch. And you look at the fact there's been 3 schools from the RSCQ, all of whom have won the national championship in the past little bit, or at least made it to the national championship final. And it's gotten to the point there for a bit where it seemed like there was a Quebec school in the national championship final every single year. More often than not, it was the McGill Martlets. But there's been some really great parity here as the Stingers make their way back out to the ice.
And what's interesting to note is Canada West actually has the most championships shared, 10 total. A big bulk of that 8 wins from the University of Alberta Pandas. Well, and the most recent one, of course, being 2018, the Manitoba Bisons.
Yeah, and I was about to say that's Mr. Howie Draper there for you. And actually, the last time a Quebec school played a Canada West school in the national championship final was when it was the 2 really great programs in the country going at it. The Alberta Pandas with Howie Draper as the head coach, and the McGill Martlets with Peter Smith as head coach. Peter Smith in the crowd just to our right.
And we'd be remiss not to talk about Scott Rivet. Of course, this is a big moment for him. He is the original coach of the Cougars, came in this team just joining the Canada West Conference in 2012, 2013, and now they are here 2023 with a chance to win gold. Either way, this is also the second medal game ever for Mount Royal University. The first medal game was for their women's volleyball team, which took home silver last year, Graham. But still, Rivet has been incredible, and he has been recognized as a coach of the year, and his resume littered with championships. That from the ACAC, he'd love to add a U Sports national title to that. Either way, they are going home with a medal. We'll see where things land, this being the start of the second period. Captain Tatum Amy in blue for the Cougars. And Emmy Fecteau with the face-off for the Stingers. And Concordia now looking to get things going. We'll see what, if any, adjustments were made, of course, in the locker room after getting a feel for one another. These teams never having met at a national tournament before. Tatum Amy trying to take that shot on Alice Filbert, but it gets blocked along the lanes. Batted out and cleared, and Veillette will slow it down for the Stingers. Now looking to fire it off for the Cougars, trying to add some pressure, though, is Lavoie. More along the line, kept in a big shot by Chloé Gendreau. That's Leonie Filbert, rather. Now Kaya Borbandy right down the middle. Trying to split the two. Can't do it this time. So back into the Cougar zone we go. Cougar zone right in front of the Concordia fans now. And now a chance. Richard makes the pass. Filbert down deep. They've got a system going here. Gendreau looking for Thibault. It'll be Ava Metzger who will collect it along the far wall. It's intercepted. Here's a chance for Concordia. Getting in close. Ross can't stop that one. The Stingers strike first. And the swell of the crowd as Concordia comes out strong in the second period.
Give Justine Yell both assists on that one. It's a strong poke check in the neutral zone that then springs the goal scorer. That is Chloé Gendreau. Just missed it there. There is Gendreau. Great composure to make a move and just slip it under the pad of Ross and in. But it's Justine Yell with the strong poke check. Didn't quite get it on the replay, but you can give her both assists on that goal.
You can tell they had that plan coming in. They were persistent in those first few cycles, and now the Stingers, the one to chase on the scoreboard. The Cougars with plenty of time to do so. We'll see how they can make it happen. By the way, of course, the very first even strength goal for Concordia in this entire tournament.
Yep, right you are. They've only had one power play to work with today, as well as the officials putting the whistles away for the most part, and also the teams, to their credit, being much more disciplined than we've seen through the first couple of games.
And McNinch unable to get it there. So it's an unassisted goal, by the way, for Chloé Gendreau, at least announced in-house here at Sepsim.
And I suspect they'll add an assist to Yell. As you know, I guess you could say it was a bit risky for Mount Royal to stick handle out of trouble, but Yell doing a great job to get her stick on the puck.
And now Bejan Cyr slowing it down. Fecteau parked in front, and Ramsey providing support for the Cougars. Puck cleared. Lindsay James giving chase. Boyer looking to bounce it back. Amundsen down on the red line. And the Cougars now the ones to try to tie things up here. Bejan Cyr finds it in the neutral zone. Quick shot on, and Ross gets that one.
And Ross had to make that save. 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the second period. With this crowd and the way they can influence the momentum, would have been big trouble for the Cougars.
Shots on goal favoring Concordia, 11-6 at this time. Face-off wins, tied at 6 apiece. Also shows you how few stoppages we've had with the whistles. And this a defensive zone draw near Caitlin Ross, and it is a battle of the 32s in net. Alice Philbert and Caitlin Ross, and Courtney Coleman with a collision. Center ice. Puck is free for the Stingers to get going. Along the near side wall, Captain Tatum Amy stopped short by Lavoie. Lavoie looking for that pass to Gendreau back. And now another chance on Ross, that one wide. The crowd just living by every one of these moments. Now Lavoie settling it back. The Cougars trying to get composed here. As of course, Concordia would like to just keep rolling with those momentum. Mulcair-Joubert looking for that feed. It stopped. Now Boyer. Boyer. And is it tucked in safely? It is for Caitlin Ross.
Boyer scored a goal just like that against the Nipissing Lakers, where it was a nice move to the backhand and then kind of flipping it on goal. In that situation, it eluded Chantal Sandquist of the Nipissing Lakers and went in this case, Ross up to the task. But it's worth noting, MRU had some issues against the University of Toronto in the quarterfinal with the long change in the second period. There were a couple of odd man rushes that they gave up. We'll have to see if they've tightened that up for this gold medal game.
Yes, Scott Rivet telling me afterwards, you know, that of course was not our best period, and likely still stands with that assessment through the semifinal as well. And now another chance for Fecteau. That one saved by Ross, but the screens were in place and a good chance there.
Yeah, that one looked like it. Well, firstly, Fecteau didn't get all of it, and then I think it took a deflection on its way through. But Ross doing well to stick with it. Fecteau coming from the Beauce region of Quebec. Same hometown, actually, as Simone Nollet, who won an Allen Cup and a Stanley Cup with the Philadelphia Flyers. But if Fecteau can go back home with 2 national championships and a Fichu Gold, I think she may unseat him as the best player to come from that hometown.
Yeah, what a season it has already been. And now the Cougars trying to chase it down. Olivia Hale, though, will meet it there, the captain of the Stingers. And that'll be an offside call.
And if we want to talk about hometowns, taking a look at the MRU bench, we see Scout Anderson, the backup goaltender for MRU. She will never be the best player to come out of her region, as she's from very Floral, Saskatchewan, which is the hometown of a certain Gordon Howe.
Oh, there's so much talent in the water in Saskatchewan. Of course, Saskatchewan will play host to the 2024 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship for the very first time in Saskatoon. And now a big shot fired down to Ross. And that's the first time, I should say, in Saskatoon. Regina has hosted one many years ago, but that will settle the play down. This is the gold medal game, and the story here, a defending champion collecting a 4th national title, or potentially for the very first time in their very first medal game, let alone a gold medal game for the Mount Royal University Cougars at this national level. And they have yet to win a Canada West Conference as well. They are the finalists. They were the number 8 seed coming into this weekend. And their run has been well-deserved. All their wins coming in regulation against higher-seeded opponents, of course, when you are the number 8. And now Veillette teeing up. Oh, it just skims by the crowd. Feeling that one as it gets in close. Now Boyer having to play keep away and come back in to settle things. That's Lavoie, in fact. Off the far side wall. Abby Borbandy. No, Mackenzie Lupa. Cameron Amundsen, there we go. Now along the near side wall. And the pressure right in front of the cameras. Might get an interesting angle on that. Back into the neutral zone. Mackenzie Butts, one of the graduating players, another great competitor for the Cougars throughout her years. Captain Tatum Amy flying through, trying to get that big shot down deep. And Butts comes out with it, tries to test Philbert. Is it saved? No, it's still in play. No whistle. That one could have trickled in, Graham.
Yeah, got behind Philbert, and I think it may have been Yell again making a crucial play. Was she the one who got in behind her? She maybe loose here through the middle.
And there's Yell with a one-on-one chance with Ross. Caitlin Ross makes that stop. Had to wait a moment to be sure, as we've seen things go in without our view, and the official says no, it's good for the Cougars.
Yeah, the puck was sitting in the blue paint to our right, and then just about 10 seconds later was in the blue paint to our left. Back and forth action here as it somehow got through Alice Philbert and then was pulled off the line by one of the Stingers players. I want to say it was Yell, who then made her way all the way up the ice, was sprung, forcing a good save from Caitlin Ross.
Fecteau with the draw.
Look out. Oof.
And now Veillette circling back. It was a heads-up play there by Brianne Trotter. Out on the ice, Brianne Trotter will take that 6th year to get that 5th year of eligibility, and will be back next year for the Cougars. Now Fecteau, she was hoping to wind up, won't take it. Veillette as well with a bit of a soft touch on the puck. Again Veillette. Ross able to regroup with that rebound. And Trotter looking to send it down the near side. That lane clogged up. Lavoie over on the far side, and McNinch to Hawk. Here she gets the puck by, but the younger Philbert will protect the blue line for the Stingers. Far side, Concordia weaving around. Quick change of direction, could be a chance here. Philbert at least getting the crowd riled up as teammates set up for something in front of the net. It skims by into the slot, and the Cougars come out of that one. Mount Royal's Amundsen, and it's an offside call, but Graham, the momentum just continues for Concordia.
Yeah, that was another good opportunity for the Stingers. And the interesting thing about Mount Royal is, you know, the Stingers are a team of stars. They got all the Canadians. Mount Royal's really just a good team. They've got a bunch of really experienced players. They've got a bunch of equals. And I was sitting with Greg Bowles, who was the head coach of the Canadian Fishu team during the team's quarterfinal against the University of Toronto on Thursday, and I think he rattled off about half the MRU roster in terms of players that he liked. And there's no real headliner. Sure, Tatum Amy is probably the biggest name on that team.
Yeah, she was on that gold medal winning team.
Yeah, and she was supposed to be. She ended up getting injured just before the plane took off.
Yes, and now we see the Cougars try to make something happen. Yes, Tatum Amy was named to the roster. That was it. But Courtney Coleman firing on all cylinders, looking to get one. She opened scoring for the entire tournament in that game 1, day 1, of course, quarterfinal against the top seed Toronto Varsity Blues, who finished 5th this morning in the consolation final.
Coleman, one of those exiles from Robert Morris after that program folded just before COVID. And we've actually got 3 of them in this tournament. So it's really good. They've found homes, and I'm sure MRU's very, very happy to have Coleman on their roster.
Coleman is just a tremendous competitor for them. And Concordia looking to continue. Fecteau over to Béjancier. Béjancier working it, scooped up by Amundsen. Amundsen now putting on the speed as the Cougars get one fresh leg out and a penalty coming.
Yeah, interference call, easy decision for the official. Now MRU of their first power play, and we'll see if they can counter after the Stingers opened the scoring earlier in this period.
And MRU, when we talk about power play, they only went 1 for 7 through their first 2 games, 1 for 7. So we'll see if they can put together an equalizer here. Again, that first goal of the game coming in this second period, scored by Concordia's Chloé Gendreau at 1:31 unassisted, and even strength at that. Something we haven't had a chance to say prior to for Concordia. So we'll see if special teams can deliver for the Cougars. Butts to Trotter, and now a chance in front of the net. Getting in deep. Saved by Amundsen, and now Spence as well on the ice. Concordia, oh, the official in the way, but Concordia's Gendreau now. Lavoie, the puck hit the official, and that stopped it being sent all the way down deep.
Yeah, it benefited no one. It didn't benefit Concordia because they couldn't fully clear it, and then actually bounced back into the zone where no Cougar was able to touch it because they would have been offside. So it's kind of in no man's land there for a second, and eventually it was cleared down by the Stingers with a minute to go in this power play.
And here's Emma Bergeson setting up the play. Flanked by Tatum Amy to her right, and she'll go to Joma. Joma to Amy. Amy now settling in. Trying to fend off the Stingers. Béjancier providing that pressure. Now Bergeson setting up. Amy fires it down. A good look for the Cougars. They got to try again from the far point. That one whistled down.
And first time today we've seen the net come off. Tatum Amy, the all-time leader in points for the Cougars. She'd love to have just one more today, maybe 2 more. And we were talking about Tatum Amy in relation to the Fishu team just a moment ago. So she was named to the roster, but something like 12 hours before she was supposed to leave for upstate New York, she ended up hurting her shoulder in a game, diving to save a puck in a game that was pretty much over. And it's really unfortunate because she was named to the roster in 2021 as well, when that tournament was canceled due to COVID-19, and she was named as a reserve in 2019. So 3 times being named to the roster, but never really breaking in. However, I'm sure none of that would matter if she can escape with a gold medal from the national championship today. Yeah,
very proud, of course, to have this run with her team. And every single one of these players, of course, having to deal with that COVID year that really stopped play. So players like Tatum Amy and others in that bracket certainly having faced adversity in a number of ways, as Graham just outlined. But they are on the power play now, looking to tie things up. 20 seconds left. Bergeson to Joma. Joma looking for room, and it's saved by Philbert. A great blocker side pad save. Bergeson to Coleman now. Coleman fires. Another well-read puck by Philbert. And here's a chance for Amy in close. No, body's in the way. Even strength. Athena Hawk can't get it. Soft spot on the ice. And here, the chase is on Bergeson. They'll go on their stomachs. They'll do whatever they can to touch the puck. Stop a chance for the Stingers on the rush. Just in front, the crowd reacting to every single moment here. It's just a 1-0 lead at this time for Concordia. A lead they established in the second. Getting in close, Ross covers up.
And the swings of momentum apparent. Frantic penalty killing for Concordia. A couple of shots making it through to Philbert as we'll take that TV timeout here at Sepsum. And I think it couldn't come at a better time for the Cougars. I'd say the Stingers have been the better team in this second period, save for that power play. But at even strength, Concordia's been having their way. They've been able to just slice right through the neutral zone so many times. It seems like it's always Fecteau. It's not. There's other players on the team as well. But it seems like Concordia have just been able to fly right through the neutral zone and create some odd player chances, or even some 3-on-2s with a hard back checker. And Ross has been not necessarily under siege in this second period, but she certainly had a lot of work to do.
Yeah, had to face some difficult shots in close from afar, and shots on goal favoring Concordia. A little bit of a greater difference now, 17-9. Face-off wins, just a slight edge for the Stingers, 11-10. And now, of course, on the power plays for both teams, 0 for 1. As we are sort of midway through the second period in this gold medal game. The Stingers up once since about a minute and a half into this second period. An unassisted goal from Chloé Gendreau.
And it's interesting that the penalty, well, I guess it's not interesting really that the penalties have been rather rare. In games like this, the officials don't want to call anything, and the players are playing extra easy. A lot of the time they say, you know, the Super Bowl is the easiest game for a referee because players don't want to take penalties and officials don't want to call them. I think we're seeing some of that today on the ice here.
Graham Naismith, Daniela Ponticelli with you. You are watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship game on CBC. Thanks for joining us. We're live inside Sepsim at the University of Montreal. And if you feel like it's a home crowd, it sort of is. It's the Concordia Stingers out of Montreal, which is where we are. And there's a wave going now. This is the time to do the wave, Graham. You do it during the break, but here they go. Fecteau and McNinch in the face-off circle. Cougars come away with it in their defensive zone. Tori Williams over on the far side, past Fecteau. And Brianne Trotter meets it up. Now those media timeouts didn't happen in any other rounds. A chance close to the net, and Philbert will cover it up. We were just talking about the clean play, but of course you come in close to Philbert and that'll happen.
Oh, just a little coming together, just some words being had, nothing more there in front of Philbert. And the Stingers just making sure their netminder is protected. And Daniela, you would know this for sure. I'm not sure about the consolation rounds, but I know in the medal bracket in the quarterfinals, there's yet to be a shutout here today at the tournament. And I think Philbert would love to be the first goaltender. And she's saving her shutout for the biggest game that matters, perhaps.
We'll get underway. You are correct in the championship bracket, and Williams bouncing that one off the leg of Lavoie. Now Veillette. Lavoie. Down deep for Concordia. We're in the last half here of the second period. Gold medal game. And Mount Royal looking to collect themselves. Caitlin Ross in net. Justine Yell. Thibault trying to make something happen. That's interrupted by Abby Borbandy, the younger sister of Kaya. Both of them playing in this gold medal game for the Cougars.
Yeah, and where did Justine Yell come from? She's having a great game, in my opinion. 8 points through the regular season, only 6 games played last year out of Dawson College. But I think she's been the best player on the ice today in either uniform.
And now Courtney Coleman keeping it in from, trying to keep it in from the blue line in the offensive zone. Mackenzie Butts also holding it down near side, but Justine Yell helping out once again, that time in the neutral zone, giving chase his Bureau Gagnon back behind the net of Ross. Sydney Benko applying pressure, trying to win that board battle. Kaya Borbandy in the mix too for the Cougars. Bejan Cyr looking to free it up, can't do it. MRU will come away. Coleman. And there's a penalty coming to Concordia.
Richard going off for, I believe it should be a trip there. It is confirmed by the official. And MRU is going to have to start taking advantage of this. We've already said power plays are not going to be too common in this game. When they do come up, they have to take advantage of them because, you know, Concordia has a habit of doing just that when they're given their opportunities.
And Canada's best university men's hockey teams are in Charlottetown, have been all weekend for the 2023 Cavendish Farms University Cup Championship. And that game underway, UNB up 1 on Alberta in the gold medal game. But right now, the women's game also a 1-0 game. Concordia with the lead, but MRU with their second power play. And there's a chance to clear it. Of course, Concordia's penalty killing units have been humming, just like their power play had. Prior to this game, they have had only 1 chance so far. Coleman over to Joma. Joma collecting it near the Cougars' blue line. Tatum Amy hoping to catch it. Coleman again. And Concordia tracking the puck well here.
Good killing thus far. MRU's really had issues setting up their power play. They could get something going here.
Joma, oh, that nearly bounces in, but it's wide. And Alexandria Spence along the line, getting the lone power play goal before, and right in front of the net, Philbert. They hope to tuck it away. They can't meet it just as quick. Benko trying. Back to Spence. Another chance. That one wide again. Benko, keep it in on the near wall. Now McNinch up to Spence. And fired in. No, catches the body this time of Boyer. She's feeling it. Still skating. McNinch now. The neutral zone looking for that feed to Benko. Can't quite get it, so Spence will chase it down. Final 15 seconds here in this Mount Royal power play. They'll bounce it off the backboards, and again, watch it go down deep into their zone as Concordia stifles another Cougars power play.
Yep, great penalty killing by the Stingers. They'll be very happy with that. We'll see if they can use it here in the final 5 minutes, kind of build off of that really strong penalty kill.
Yeah, that momentum swelling. Now Bejancier in the slot, looking for that pass to Fecteau. Fecteau hoping to get a stick on it. Hale. And now fired up Hale. This Concordia crowd very rowdy, and of course this is right on top of MRU right now. Cougars just hoping to swing this out. Possession time here mounting as the board battle sustained, and Alexandria Spence will look to saucer it. It catches Amundsen on the skate and down deep. Along the near wall. Stathis for Concordia. Stathis. Benko instead comes sweeping in. And she fires one, that bounces down. Rebound now back behind the net. Getting in close. Cougars trying to make something happen. Williams sets up and she touches Twine. The Cougars tie it up in this gold medal game.
And now it's an opportunity for MRU's fans to get on their feet and have their voices heard. And it comes at a good time heading into this second intermission for MRU.
And we'll see this play develop again.
And it comes off of an Alice Philbert rebound, actually. A puck that goes up and hits the dangler that's on her mask. And Philbert's been giving up a couple of rebounds today. Not necessarily into the slot, but just pucks that seem to find their way to her feet and then have to be cleared by a defender, and that's what happened, but then ends up cycling its way back to the point where it's hammered in by Williams, and it's a brand new hockey game. We've said it before, Daniela, you know, these games of the national championship don't start until the last 10 minutes of the third period. I think we could see that again here today.
Williams, a graduating player with the program, able to get that equalizer, and just as quickly Philbert will freeze the puck. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the second.
As we're getting the goal confirmed now, that really woke up the MRU crowd. Concordia's got quite the cheering section just behind their bench and off to the side of their bench. But MRU certainly in full voice. They have come from an awful long way. And, you know, you look at some of the hometowns down in that on the program for MRU. They're coming from some rather far-flung places, but they've all come here to Montreal in any case.
Canada West representative in the gold medal final, and that could have nearly been tipped in. It's still in play, but it'll be all covered up. And of course now it'll get physical. The Stingers not liking how close Trotter got.
Whoever took the penalty saved the goal because it was going backdoor, a hooking call. I think it's going to be Yell going off, but she just saved the goal. It was a nice backdoor feed. I couldn't tell you who it went to, but it made its way right through the blue paint, and the player couldn't get their stick down because Yell hooked them up, and the puck ended up hitting the side of the goal. Hopefully we get a good replay of it here.
Have another look. And the moment in front of the net there.
Yep, and it was Yell hooking up. That's Kiana McNinch. And you can see there, it still almost goes in. Philbert diving back, but if McNinch was able to get her stick down, that certainly would have been a goal. So Yell taking the 2-minute penalty, probably, otherwise it would have been a goal.
And of course, the Stingers have been perfect so far on their kill. We'll see how it lands this time. Tatum Amy now, the captain, holding it down as Courtney Coleman settles it. Joma to Bergeson on the point. Fired in, Tatum catches backboard. Now Joma. Bergeson hoping to get her stick on that puck, doesn't quite land, so Joma, she'll weave it around. Fecteau calling for it up, looking for that sharp angle. It bounces off Philbert, and that'll whistle it down.
Yep, good save with the shoulder from Philbert. And right now it's important to know, everyone's saying, MRU's the 8th seed. They're the Cinderella story. These brackets aren't like March Madness that's going on right now. They were the 8th seed. I mean, they could have been anywhere in this seeding, really. A lot of the time it just comes down to, how the committee decides to rank them, because 2 teams from the same conference cannot meet in the quarterfinal. But MRU could have been as high as the 5 seed when you think about it.
Yeah, they can't meet in a quarterfinal or a semifinal. And then up top,
yep, so when you put it that way, it's more of a jigsaw puzzle, putting the bracket, if you so to speak, or the seeding together, than actual proper seeding for these tournaments.
Yeah, the only rule is that conference finalists must be in the first 4 spots, and that's about it. And another big shot down. Philbert coming out to make that save, and it's effective as the puck gets saucered back the other way. Caitlin Ross will play it. This is an MRU power play. They have the player advantage. They found themselves in their own zone a number of times with the extra player. So now Joma coming up through the center, looking for Coleman. Maybe yet to be able to make something happen on their special teams other than an effective penalty kill early on. And so just be a collapse on top of the puck.
And Cougars only had 4 players on the ice there. There was no one on this near side. And now Cook jumps off the bench, but an interesting sequence there, and I think the puck staying in the Stingers zone.
And just a quick snapshot of shots on goal. Concordia with a slight edge, 17-15 at this time, as we're approaching the final minute here of the second period. It's been a busy one. The game now tied at 1. And once again, the Stingers able to just get the puck down deep into the Cougars territory on that PK. Captain Tatum Amy looking for Bergeson as their power play winds down, and the Concordia Stingers, Justine Yell now on the ice as Coleman fires it back down. Looking to keep it in is Bergeson. Hawk trying to save it. And now Ramsey in blue. Olivia Hale to Gendreau, now to Bejancier, and that's stopped halfway by Ramsey. Final 15 seconds in the second period. Coming in quick is Ramsey.
That one hit Emma Bergeson on the Cougars bench, so they're going to take the draw outside. But interesting about Bergeson, she's from Norway, has some experience with the Norwegian national team, and her mother was a pretty good player in her own right. She played on the national team in Olympic Games qualification and in the World Championships. And Emma and her mother actually played on the same club team in Norway for one season when Emma was a teenager in 2013-14.
And now a chance for the Stingers, but final seconds winding down here in the second. We're tied at 1. It was a scoreless tie coming into this second frame, and now through 40. Each team on the board. Concordia striking first. 1 minute, 31 seconds in. A goal unassisted by Chloé Gendreau, their first even strength marker of the entire tournament. And then Mount Royal's Ava Metzger, assisted by Sydney Benko and Tori Williams. That will be the decision there, at least for now on the stat sheet. They'll review it as well during the break, but 16:45 into the second. We will hear now from one of the Stingers, possibly. No, we won't. It looks like we will head into the second intermission. Again, tied at 1 in this gold medal game. It's been a thrilling one at that right now. Taking a quick look, Graham.
Well, the one thing that stands out to me is the power plays. There's only been one opportunity for Concordia, so MRU will have to stay disciplined because we know how good Concordia has been on the player advantage.
Graham Naismith, Daniela Ponticelli will be back. You're watching the gold medal game at the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship in Montreal on CBC.
The stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
Every year, U Sports celebrates its best student athletes, honoring major accomplishments in each sport. Here are the nominees and the winner of the 2023 U Sports Player of the Year Award.
The nominees for the Broderick Trophy as the U Sports Outstanding Women's Hockey Player of the Year are, en nomination pour le trophée Broderick comme athlète de l'année U Sport en hockey féminin, des sports universitaires de l'Atlantique from the AUS, Kendra Woodland, Université du Nouveau-Brunswick, UNB, du Réseau du sport étudiant du Québec from the RSCQ, Audrey-Anne Veillette, Université de Montréal, Montreal, du sport universitaire de l'Ontario from the OUA, Leah Herford, Université de Waterloo, University of Waterloo, et de l'Association Ouest Canadienne from Canada West, Tatum Amy, Université Mount Royal University. La lauréate du trophée Broderick décerné à la joueuse de l'année en hockey féminin U-Sport est, the winner of the Broderick Trophy as the U-Sports Player of the Year in women's hockey is, Kendra Woodland, Université du Nouveau-Brunswick, UNB.
And so through the first 40 of this gold medal game, we're tied at 1. Both those goals coming in the second period. Concordia Stingers striking first, even strength goal unassisted by Chloé Gendreau. And then Mount Royal's beauty to get by Alice Filbert, which is a difficult task on any given day. But that one tipped in by Ava Metzger, helped, of course, by Tori Williams and Sydney Benko. We'll be back for more in a thrilling final to an impressive weekend of play. I'm Daniela Ponticelli alongside Graham Naismith, and you're watching U Sports on CBC.
This season, catch the best in Atlantic University sport excitement at home or on the go with AUS TV. Soccer, rugby, football, volleyball, hockey, basketball, and more. Tune in at AUSTV.ca. All your favorite university teams showcasing their talents in one place. AUS TV, powered by Bell Alliance. They bring it to the court. They bring it to the field. They bring it to the ice. And now they bring it to you. Presented by Subway, the official fuel of Atlantic University sport.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
is that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire, le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi, when you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
This period of U Sports on CBC is presented by cette période d'hockey universitaire vous est présentée par Saint-Hubert, proud partners of the U Sports Women's Hockey Championship, fier partenaire du championnat de hockey féminin U-Sport.
Welcome back to the gold medal game of the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC. I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Graham Naismith, and it has been a thrilling 40 minutes, all tied at 1. The number 8 seed Mount Royal University Cougars meeting the defending champion Concordia Stingers, who came into this weekend the 3rd seed. Both of these teams putting together 2 huge wins to get themselves into this final game on Sunday. Graham, it's been an incredible 40 minutes so far, and the teams now heading to their benches. Of course, the coaching staff of Concordia getting plenty of high fives from what is a home crowd for them, in the sense that they're from Montreal, this being the barn of the Carabin and not the Concordia Stingers, but still familiar territory. What do you make of it?
Well, you know, that's what it's all about, and really the Stars have come out to shine for this tournament. We had Kim St. Pierre speak at the banquet on Wednesday, and just looking around, you know, the crowd, there's so many, just, yes. You can't look anywhere without seeing, you know, a great women's hockey player. And just down to our left, we see Marie-Philippe Poulin holding a puppy. Puppy maybe 4-month-old chocolate lab, and she's just holding the dog there, and a child walked up to her, a kid maybe 10 years old, and was more interested in the dog than he was, you know, the greatest current Canadian athlete. So that's what it's all about. And, you know, it's been remarkable to see the Quebec hockey community really support this event. And you know, we're not just saying that because we're working for U Sports and we're broadcasting it, and that, you know, from my experience having gone to other national championships, this one has been particularly well pulled off.
And the Stars now of this game taking the ice. Canada West will host the championship next year. Saskatoon for the very first time, the University of Saskatchewan in their beautiful barn, Merlis Belcher Place. But right now, it really has been a phenomenal weekend at Sepsum. Just packed crowds for the bulk of the games, including some of those early morning tilts, because they're here to see great hockey, and that's what they get. By the way, the men's final is signed and sealed as well with the UNB Reds. Your men's U Sports hockey champions, a 3-0 win over the Alberta Golden Bears. So Canada West will get silver on the men's side. We'll see what plays out here as we are tied at 1, and we're getting set for the third period of this gold medal game. Cougars captain Tatum Amy in blue, and Emmy Fecto switching out, it appears. No, just circling around. Yes.
They're just taking a look at the minor officials who are holding them up. They're waiting for the TV, the French TV to come in, and then they'll get going. And we look down to our left, the Stingers fans in full voice. They're led by Zach Fillon, a football player on the Stingers. It's actually his birthday today, turning 24. The gentleman in the cowboy hat.
And now down into the third period we go. Puck dropping, and Concordia finds themselves bringing it out of their own zone quick. Fecto putting on the speed. Bejancier fires it. Ross in control. And along the near side wall now. Ferguson up to Coleman. Aaliyah Joma connecting it on the far side. And a soft touch. That one bounces the way for the Stingers.
Yeah, and that's a tough one for Lavoie. She had terrible body position there, not at fault of her own. She was facing her own goal with the puck coming right to her stick. She had to put it right back where it came from. Stingers survive a bit of a scare there.
Sandrine Veillette nearly losing it to Kaya Borbandy, but the Stingers again cycling it with the passes. More controlled this time, Lavoie. She's getting a chance, and she goes for a nifty maneuver to try to scoop it past Ross. Now, another chance as the Stingers set up here. Rosalie Bejancier. And now Thibault along the far side wall. Kaya Borbandy. Up to Benko. Borbandy again, Benko. Thibault giving chase. Mackenzie Butts trying to get her stick on it for the Cougars. Gold medal on the line, tied at 1. Hale with a big shot. That one down near side. Alexandria Spence to Butts. And the Cougars with some long passes now to Spence, or rather Athena Hawk. Hawk down to Trotter. 2 veterans and a chance! Trotter puts it away for goal number 2, and the lead for the Cougars.
And it's almost a carbon copy of the start of the second period, where Concordia scored very early on and seemed to just take the momentum and be away with it. But MRU obviously responded. Now it's the Cougars' turn to get on the board early. Trotter moves into the slot unimpeded. Can't really fault Philbert on that one. And it's one of the veterans on this team scoring perhaps the biggest goal of her career in a Cougars uniform.
And Trotter not hanging up the uniform just yet. She will be back to finish out her U Sports eligibility. It does mean a 6th year academically. She'll take it so that she can be back in blue with the team. And a big goal for Brianne Trotter. And now Abby Borbandy will settle it down back behind the net of Caitlin Ross. But in front, Bejancier with a great chance. And that one, Ross catching herself out of position, getting in close. Veillette fires it, blocked by James, and what a sequence there. Concordia will watch that one back. And Emily Lavoie firing it down. Tori Williams credited with her 2nd assist of the night for the Cougars. MRU with their first lead in this gold medal game. Now Lavoie in close to Ross. She reads that, blocker side. And Joma hoping to get in. And the Stingers now moving in with speed and precision as they do. In close, Justine Yell covered up by Ross.
And it's Yell again, who's the player of the moment. Moving in to get that loose puck, just can't solve Ross, but the Stingers would love a power play right now. They've only had one today. They've been very good on the power play, but they also have had a lot of opportunities in every single one of their games. Against Nipissing Lakers in the quarterfinal, they had 10 opportunities, scoring on 4 of them. And then in the semifinals against the Thunderbirds, they had 4 opportunities. Thus far, through 2 periods and a bit, only 1.
And now in close, the Cougars protecting the lanes, but protecting the line. The Stingers crowd is just so loud in this building. Taking up a good 60 to 70% of the crowd here at Sepsum. And Emma Bergeson now. Up to Benko along the wall. Fecteau looking for McIntyre.
And the MRU fans are louder than the Stingers fans for the first time today.
Now Olivia Hale, the captain, who's playing in her last game as a Stinger. A proud moment, defending champion. And Spence taps it in, keeps it down deep for the Cougars. With such a mixed sound in here. And a big pass. Here's a chance. Bejan Cyr up close. Can't tuck it away. Ross far out of her net, but tracks it. There's a penalty coming.
Are they pointing to the center circle for a penalty shot, or are they indicating a penalty? I couldn't quite see the signal from the official.
Could be a shot, though.
The official over talking. It's going to be on Spence there for that infraction. Are they bringing it to the center? Or?
Well, if they are, Graham, it'll be the first time.
Yes, they are. Here we go. It's Rosalie Bejan-Cyr.
It is the very first penalty shot, and this is a huge one, a chance to tie it up in the gold medal game. You've got Rosalie Bejan-Cyr with a moment here for the Stingers. They'll take it out wide, bring it in close, and she beats Caitlin Ross. Bejan-Cyr ties it at 2 and a must-score goal for the Stingers.
Game on. Game on, and we're tied at 2 after goals were so hard to come by through the first 2 periods. We have 2 in the first 5 minutes of this second period. If I'm the Cougars, I'd rather have the penalty shot than the power play, because you just need your goaltender to make 1 save. But it's a great move from Bejan-Cyr, getting Ross moving, putting it up high. So often we see players, they get the goaltender moving, and then they just try to tuck it in, and the goaltender gets back with the pad. Here, Bejan-Cyr making the excellent choice to lift the puck right into the roof of the net. A calm play from one of the Stingers' top guns.
And this is where these teams will show their championship medal when it comes down to it. Still plenty of time left in this third period, but what an incredible penalty shot. That's the very first of this entire weekend. We don't see many of them as it is.
Yeah, and the scoreboard in the arena is not updated yet, and it's not updated on your screen, but we are getting confirmation that they are going to count it. Why not?
And now, Lavoie for the Stingers. We talked about the fact that they have had difficulty struggling on the even strength goals, and then you take it to a penalty shot. And now a chance for the Cougars as they wind up Tori Williams. Fully back, and big shot by Trotter. No Ramsey out on the ice there. Hawk settling it down up to Ramsey. Morgan Ramsey, another veteran of the Cougars, coming in fast, and it's saved by Philbert.
And I was about to make the comment before Concordia got the goal that the Cougars can't afford to get into clock watching mode, where they start looking at the clock and saying, okay, they take it minute by minute, shift by shift almost. They have to keep going. They have to keep doing what they've been doing against the Stingers, because I was going to make the comment, I don't think 2 goals is enough. Turns out it's not. So now we're right back to where we started, and it's what we suspected pretty much from the start, Daniela. This game's going to come down to the last 10 minutes.
Such a close game, and there will be a media timeout, and sort of the ensuing next 5 to 6 minutes, so that's a stoppage that we can expect. We'll see how the momentum swings before then. Now Lindsay James up along the far side. Cook to Bergeson. This crowd is so dialed in. Along the near wall. A chance in close. That one does not touch the back of the net. It is from behind though, so the Stingers play on. The Cougars now, Bergeson. Chipping it down.
So it's worth noting the Stingers still only have one 5-on-5 goal, and now they can add a penalty shot goal to their tally for the tournament.
It'll be one of those footnotes, of course, in a championship booklet on how did things really shape out. Special teams and a penalty shot, one 5-on-5, that one to open this game by Chloe Gendreau. And so they go back and forth. The Stingers, Emmy Fecteau leading the way. Looking for help from Béjancier, who's already scored that penalty shot. Of course, we watched it just moments ago. Olivia Hale winding up. Back to Béjancier. Up from the far point, hoping to collect the rebound. Rachel McIntyre for Concordia. Now the crowd just quieting down as Lavoie looks to work things. Tatum Amy with a quick steal. She can't let it fly, so she'll switch out. Benko now with the forecheck. Hoping to dislodge the puck along with Metzger. And now Williams looking for a path to Abby Borbandi. Puck down for Drapeau. Into the Cougar zone. They'll free the puck there. And it goes back and forth. Crowd now winding up as Concordia gets going. Looking for that movement, Morin-Joubert. Now along the near side wall. Cougars looking for that movement. They can't keep their feet on the ice. And now Justine Yell with her stick on the puck. What a pass that would have been. The crowd recognizing the moment. Now Athena Hawk the other way. Hawk. She can't keep her stick on the puck. It's been the story of this period. A third period now tied at 2. Came into this tied at 1. 11:40 to go here in the third period of regulation. Gold medal on the line. And now up, giving chase Emmy Fecteau, but Spence will beat her to the puck. Up around the boards. To Sandrine Veillette, fighting for it. Lindsay James in there, now Mackenzie Butts. Chase is on, bit of a foot race, no icing call. Hoping to reach the puck first. These two teams, their speed, so incredible to see. And now another setup here. Yassimo Drapeau showing off her skill. Big shot down, that's wide.
These MRU Cougars on the ice are tired right now. If Concordia can establish the zone, they can't. They could have been in trouble. I think McIntyre would have been there, served there to hold the puck, establish the zone, because those Cougars skaters have been out there for a little while.
10:40 to go now as we approach this halfway mark of the third period. Emily Lavoie finding the puck down deep in the Cougar zone. Abby Borbandi. Now up to Joma. And Coleman. Moving down for that center, was looking for Joma. And a shot down. Traffic in front.
Huge block by Emily Lavoie, getting down and getting her shin guard on it. I think Emily Lavoie could have a goal in her before this game's over, and she may get the opportunity on the power play.
And Emma Bergeson not liking that call against her, does not agree with it, but either way, this is giving Concordia a massive power play. They've only had one prior to this, Graham, in this game, and prior to this game, all their goals except for one have been scored on the player advantage. This is a huge moment for the Stingers.
Yep, here we go. Even Concordia's first power play, the Cougars did a really good job just not letting them get set up. This is a big face-off right off the hop for Fecteau because they had all sorts of trouble breaking into the zone on that power play, which came all the way back in the first period, and here Fecteau loses the draw.
Laura Cook hoping to send it sailing around the boards, can't quite clear it. Now the Stingers setting up. Veillette out there, big chance in front of the net. That one cleared by Ross, who back on her skates.
And that one goes out of play on the far side. Watch Drapeau on this near side. She's the one who they're really keying in for that one-timer. She hasn't really had the opportunity to really hit the puck yet, at least in the points of this tournament that I've seen. But she's the one who's going to sneak down into that circle to the left of Ross and is going to try to one-time something by the goaltender.
When we talk about the power play units, Yassimo Drapeau does have 2 assists because of her time on the power play. Big shot by Fecteau. That one blocked in the slot. The Cougars can't clear it out. That was Kaya Borbandi sacrificing herself there in the middle. Now the Stingers trying to make something happen. Fecteau, big save by Ross, tracks that one over her head. Now Philbert along the line to Bejan-Cyr. It's up high again. Cougars, Kaya. Ava Metzger will send it down. Metzger getting that very first goal of the game for at least the first goal for the Cougars to tie things at 1 in the second period. Or rather in the first, in the second. Now a chance. 50 seconds to go here on this power play for the Stingers. Gold medal game. We're tied at 2. And Emily Lavoie weaving by Amundsen, getting in close. Coming up on Laura Cook. The crowd reacts to it. The officials don't agree. They did not see a penalty on that. This is already a power play situation for the Stingers. 25 seconds to go. Gendreau to Bureau-Gagnon. Lavoie. Boyer teeing up. That one up high.
Ross was way out of position. She's claiming she was interfered with. Boyer had an awful lot of net to shoot at there.
Chloé Gendreau fending it off. Final seconds. They get the go-ahead. It's 3 for the Stingers down right in front of the net to get by Caitlin Ross. And a massive goal as Megan Bureau-Gagnon coming in first in the handshaking line, the high-five line along the bench.
So often in these games, it's the unsung players who make the difference, and here it's Bureau-Gagnon who gets the vital goal. Johnny on the spot to thwack it in there. She's one of those players that Julie Chu is so proud of. She's one of the players who's on the team last year, but just didn't do much, didn't get into many games with all the stars they had. Only 4 games played last year, and it's one of those players on the team where it's not a new face to the team, but it's a new role. And Bureau-Gagnon getting in there for the biggest goal of her Stingers career.
Yeah, right now the Stingers retaking the lead, 3-2. There will be a media timeout coming, so that is a stoppage to be expected. And I believe that's going to happen potentially right now. No?
No, not just yet. No signal from the minor officials. I think they generally wait inside the final 6 minutes to call the timeout. And now they are going to call it, as a matter of fact. So this is good timing for MRU as it'll cool down the Concordia crowd, which is in full voice right now.
Yeah, these media timeouts just for this gold medal game. Slated for the halfway points, and of course can't quite meet that there. And now we're just going to take a moment and really see what's at stake here. A 3-2 lead taken right now by Concordia. And this has not been the only championship for U Sports this weekend. It's been a busy one across the board. By the way, the men's hockey champion, the UNB Reds, winning 3-0 over the Alberta Golden Bears. But Canada's best volleyball players have been out in full force, and CBC Sports has been your home for the 2023 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Mikasa, live from Vancouver all weekend long. So here we are, the number 8 seed MRU Cougars came in that way, and that was based on the ELO algorithm, if you will, that sort of seeds teams. It's not totally willy-nilly. The only way that it does get shifted is, of course, if teams were set to meet each other, the same ones in the same conference before a final. So Mount Royal knew that they would be coming in as the 8th seed. It'll be a neutral zone draw, a chance, of course, that media timeout for both benches to have discussion, something that they weren't able to do in either of their quarterfinal or semifinal games.
Yeah, and just to that point, there's so many good teams across the country. Waterloo was near the top of the top 10 all season, and they just didn't make it, knocked out by Nipissing. Ottawa was really good throughout the year as well, with Abigail Malotny at forward and Orly Zavrick in goal and Big Shack on defense. So those are teams that could have been here very easily.
And Athena Hawk trying to capitalize with the energy from that. Now Brianne Trotter, little drop pass to Hawk. She shoots, it's up high, but a good look from the number 8 seed as they fight to tie things up and keep this game alive. Their gold medal hopes there. Either way, MRU coming away with a national medal, something they've never done before in this, just their second appearance, that first one in 2020. But here comes Chloe Gendreau up on Caitlin Ross. Graham.
And that one they were looking for, Lavoie had her stick lifted.
Another chance, saved by Ross. The crowd getting louder and louder, didn't know it was possible. Boyer from the point. Traffic in the way. Looking for Thibault.
That one may be intentionally wide, and she's letting her forwards go to work, and they do retrieve it.
Boyer again. Yeah, they love to send it down to the backboards and make those plays. Let them develop from behind the goal line, and there's the icing call.
And this has been tremendous. And Concordia complaining that a couple of Cougars scampered off the ice, but the Lions people are right on the case. This has been tremendous after the goal for Concordia. They're not hanging back. They are not going to be content trying to see out this 3-2 lead. They've actually had the better chances since they potted the go-ahead goal.
And so it'll be Kiana McNinch stepping into the circle with Justine Yell. In this defensive zone draw for the Cougars, down 1 right now with 6:40 left in this third and final regulation period, of course, of the gold medal game. A big pass there as the Cougars get to work. Athena Hawk can't stop Yell. We talked about her being a great player for the Stingers, but exceptional so far in this game. A game when, of course, it all counts. Now, Elise clear the puck out here. Brianne Trotter losing it in the feet of the official. Down deep along the near side boards, Joma. The feed up to Amy. Amy loses it, but Tori Williams there to save the moment. And the Stingers setting up to defend in the slot, and Philbert will make that final save. The officials having some words with Captain Olivia Hale.
After all of that, the arms stay down. It's a big stop off of a kind of a low zone tip for Alice Philbert. And she's not faced as much rubber as her counterpart at the other end of the rink. But she's been there when called upon. 2 goals given up, the most they've given up since Game 2 of the RCQ final against Montreal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Concordia leading shots on goal 26-18 at this time.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Cougars undeterred. They're trying to fire one up. That goes high, bounces into the far corner. Again, 5.5 minutes or so to play with and try to get that equalizer if you're MRU, or maintain that lead, or extend it if you're the Stingers. And a big shot down through traffic. Spence has put one away before for the Cougars, that on the power play this weekend. And now Drapeau, faced with few options, just sends it down the far wall. Puck on the stick of Veillette. As the Stingers get going, Gendreau with a big shot, saved by Ross on that one. And the Cougars, Kaya Borbati going on her knees to make that play, and Hale off the boards.
And the Stingers, earlier in this period, really shortened their bench. We haven't seen the line of Stathis, Boulanger, and Rice for an awful long time. And I believe the Cougars also shortening it down as well, as Fibel taking no chances here.
Now we're in the final 5 minutes of play. It's been thrilling so far. It was a penalty shot from Rosalie Béjancir to tie it all up for Concordia. But then Migam Bureau-Gagnon getting the go-ahead on the power play. Just like they have been effective throughout this tournament on special teams with that player advantage. 11:55 into the third period. 4.5 left to go. And the Cougars fire one in. No, that's stopped by Béjancir. The blocks will be aplenty as these teams fight for it. Cook swirling.
And as Concordia starts to really block shots, they have to make sure they're getting their full body behind it. They can't just be throwing a stick at it, because that may create a deflection, which will throw off Alice Filbert.
Kiana McNinch in blue. It'll be Jassimo Drapeau with the quick work to move the puck down.
Smart decision from Drapeau, going high off the glass. Didn't go along the boards, went high off the glass, actually over her opponent, so she was able to skate it down. Didn't really result in much, as MRU were looking to get it back the other way.
Now Spence along the near side. That's intercepted there by Martin Joubert. And now nearly a one-on-one moment. No, Bureau-Gagnon not quick enough to meet the puck. As Joma looks for Captain Amy. Amy settling in for that feed to Joma, intercepted by Justiniel. And the Stingers maintaining their lead. Bureau-Gagnon running in deep. Spence to touch first.
That's a blown call there on the icing. No idea how that's not icing.
And now a chance for the Stingers. Boyer, Hale, just to maintain possession here. We approach the final 3 minutes of the third period. Gold medal on the line right now. The Stingers with the lead. As they fight for it along the far wall. Up top, blue line, the defending champion Concordia, hoping to spoil this big run by MRU in really their first full taste of nationals. That 2020 appearance cut short, as it was for so many other teams.
Ross looking to the bench right now from MRU. She's advancing to the low slot. No chance she can get out right now with the puck tied up. Official right on the scene to make sure it keeps moving. And now she's seen enough, and she's going to blow it down. Neutral zone draw, so Ross won't come out just yet. But I have a feeling if MRU can gain possession down low, maybe even if they just throw it down low, Ross may come out.
They're certainly gonna try to do what they can when you're down by one and have that gold medal on the line. The crowd so loud here at Sepsum. It's the home of the Montreal Carabins, who finished 4th in this year's U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. The bronze going to UBC Thunderbirds. So Canada West has that medal. But the RSEQ would like to keep it here close to the net, and a big save. Moquin Joubert coming in fast on Ross. And Emma Bergeson to Cook, up to Hawk.
It's got to be better than that from Hawk, as it's going to be icing. That's going to be detrimental here to MRU.
2:01 left to go in regulation. The crowd fired up. Benches appear calm, especially that of the Cougars right now. Head coach Scott Rivet also taking in this moment, understanding what's at stake. Concordia, an offensive zone draw right now with that 1-goal lead here in the gold medal game. Laura Cook coming through. MRU hoping to create something. They can't quite pull their goaltender yet. We'll see if they do. Right now, Emma Bergeson along the far wall with Trotter. Trotter down deep.
Now Ross goes.
There's the moment, Graham, as you called it. So 6 on 5. And this is big here for the Cougars. What a risk. Of course, that's what teams do when they pull that goaltender, as we're within the final minute 30, and Filbert will cover it up.
So that's not the worst. I mean, I'm sure the Cougars would have rather, and I'll be interested to see if they take a timeout here. I'm almost certain they will. But I think the Cougars would have rather have it. Now they are going to signal for the timeout. I'll get to my point now. So I think the Cougars would have wanted to have someone closer to the goal there. There were 3 players puck retrieving and 3 kind of sitting at the point. But at the end of the day, Fidbel holding it up inside of their goal, creating a face-off in the offensive zone in this situation, not the worst outcome at all for the Mount Royal Cougars.
And the crowd is loose here. There's so much on the line, but also, regardless of the outcome, you certainly don't want to take lightly the fact that Concordia is here as defending champs, despite having a lot of turnover, a lot of folks from last year's team not here, although Alice Filbert, who's been holding it down in net. Right now we're looking at the empty net, that of actually Caitlin Ross, even though both are empty at this moment. Likely Ross not going back. There's the discussion between Ross and Scout Anderson. Big moments here, so much to learn from. And Ross will be back. Not one of the graduating players, not by a long shot just yet, a 3rd year. What an experience for her. She's been remarkable to get her team here into this gold medal final. A minute 23 to go. 6-on-5 for the Cougars as they look
Hawk
to tie
with the
it
big
up.
face-off win there. It was Hawk who won it. And a stinger without a stick. It's Olivia Hale.
Bergeson from the point to Joma. Joma back to Bergeson. We've got to be careful right in front. That was a stick side save off the pad there, kept in by Bergeson. Was looking for Hawk. Now we're in the final minute. The Cougars.
Now it's Fecteau with no stick. Hale has hers.
And back. Hawk to Joma. Missed chance. That one kept in by Bergeson. Coleman now along the far wall. The clock winding down. Puck is loose at 6-on-5. No goaltender in net for the Cougars. They've got to battle for it. We've got bodies piled on one another. And it's whistled.
And they blow it down, and that's actually huge for the Stingers because, as we said, it was almost 6-on-4 there as Olivia Hale lost her stick straight off the draw, and then Emmy Fecteau gave her stick, but Fecteau stayed in front of the goal. You know, it's a curious debate. Would you rather have a player with no stick up high and they can't really poke it away, or in front of the goal where they can kind of push? In any case, only change being made for the Stingers. Drapeau comes off the ice. Onto the ice comes Moquin Gilbert. And now, they're going to say that change was made too late, so the referee's sending Drapeau back out there. So no fresh legs whatsoever for either team.
Just 38 seconds to go here in regulation. It's 6-on-5 for the Cougars. They've got to get one to stay alive. Tie things up here in this gold medal game. Big shot by Trotter. She scored once already. To get that second goal, 25 seconds left. The crowd swelling. Louder. Now Bergeson with a shot that deflected off the body is in front. Fecteau getting pressed for it. Final 10 seconds here. And the Cougars battling to the last second. That was a good chance. As the clock winds down, the crowd stands up and they touch twine. The Cougars tie it up with 1.8 seconds left to go in this gold medal game. What a moment. Concordia fans thought they were safe. They were getting ready to erupt, but instead over on the other side, the Canada West crowd thrilled by the moment. Let's take a look once again. It all developed quickly. Brianne Trotter down deep. It was tipped in by her teammate, but still, they earned it. Was it Captain Tatum, Amy? Even if it wasn't, she was on the ice, and that's a moment she'll never forget.
It's number 18 scoring with 1.8 seconds to go.
And we are headed into overtime in this gold medal game. So folks, stay with us. It's going to be 5-on-5 hockey. Another entire full period put on the board. 20 minutes, of course, sudden death as one is expected in a hockey overtime. But that's the rules for this gold medal game. So 5-on-5. And I believe that couldn't be more deserved in a game like this, Graham, with not only so much on the line, but so much heart. What we just saw there.
And they are, well, yeah, a great finish. They are going to do a flood, by the way, so we will be taking an intermission break. But yeah, incredible stuff right at the last. It's Trotter who gets the goal, and just incredible. You all thought it was over. Come on, let's be honest. We thought it was over. It wasn't. And the Cougars, the Cardiac Cougars, just keep coming back and coming back and coming back.
Oh, that's a name I'm sure that they'll take with pride. They'll take whatever they can get. I see it as the comeback Cougars. Never count them out. They have proven that coming in as the number 8 seed. By the way, the only time a number 8 seed has ended up in the final, we have seen championship finals with the lowest seeds in, but that was back when it was a 6-team tournament. This has been an absolute thrill ride. We'll see how it comes to an end. In the meantime, everyone, buckle up and stay tuned. I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Graham Naismith, and you're watching the gold medal game heading into overtime here at the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship in Montreal on CBC.
20 minutes in overtime. We are doing another 15 minutes of intermission, and we're doing the second overtime period, and we will still play at 5-on-5. So I just want to be clear that we have due the draw for the 50-50. On a fait le tirage pour la moitié-moitié. Je vous rappelle le numéro gagnant. 1, 9, 3,
And here come the defending champions in front of what is essentially a home crowd. It's in their home city of Montreal, just in the Carabin barn, with the Concordia Stingers. Thought they had it put away with a 3-2 lead, and then with 1.8 seconds left on the clock, it's the comeback kids. Canada West finalists, started number 8 seed. Here in the final, in just their second national appearance ever, their first one cut short in 2020. They had won a quarterfinal game over the Toronto Varsity Blues in that before it was canceled due to COVID. They came back this year, and guess who they toppled first? The top seed, Toronto Varsity Blues, then through the semifinal to get into this magic moment for this Cougars team. A team that only stepped into U Sports play 10 years ago, 2012, 2013, after being dominant on the college level. Mount Royal University out of Calgary, building their athletics programs, and this is certainly a moment they will never, ever forget, making history no matter what for their school and for this hockey program, their very first Nationals medal game. I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Graham Naismith, and we are getting set for an overtime. 5-on-5, 20 minutes on the clock, so it will feel like any other period. We've switched sides as well. Alice Gilbert over in the net to my broadcast right, and Caitlin Ross in very hostile territory. She's right in front of this Cougars crowd. And they were ready, they were standing on their feet as the seconds wound down in the third. There'll be Kiana McNinch at the center for the Cougars. Well, Concordia come away with it and just pop it over the bench.
The national championship final has gone to overtime on 3 occasions, most recently in 2017, the Alberta Pandas beating the McGill Martlets, a goal by Taylor Kazama being the difference in that one. 2014, McGill beats Montreal in an RSEQ, all RSEQ final. Brittany Four-Acres getting the winning goal for McGill, and all the way back in 2003, the Pandas beating the Toronto Varsity Blues in overtime.
And now McNinch. Athena Hawk getting her stick on the puck. Both teams know what's at stake. They can't make mistakes. Hawk down, but not for long. Coleman trying to meet the puck up there, down deep with Boyer for Concordia. And this crowd, of course, is going to do whatever it can to keep this defending champion run from the Stingers alive. Certainly not the game from last year, a 4-0 win over the Nipissing Lakers to get the Stingers their 3rd national title. Now this one tied at 3. Here's Aaliyah Joma setting up. She's coming in close. It's stopped by Philbert, and Joma goes into the far boards. Kept in on the line by Bergeson. Or that was Alexandria Spence, rather. And the Cougars needing to be aware of what Concordia can put together. Leonie Philbert, here's a chance for Gendreau getting in close, and a save by Ross, a massive one at that. As they continue playing the Cougar zone, it's overtime here of a gold medal game. That is what's on the line. Along the far side wall, the Cougars looking to come out. Careful on those along the near wall as Ramsey comes up on Bureau Gagnon. Now back behind the net. Boyer from the point. Puck bounces off the body of Benko, and Ross makes a save. A big save, I should say. Every single one counts. It's sudden death overtime, but 20-minute periods, 5-on-5. And the Cougars, Brianne Trotter placing it down. And now quick up the far side, Rosalie Bézrancière. She got the tying penalty shot, she beats one. And that's stopped by Laura Cook. Laura Cook with a massive play for the Cougars. Now Fecteau. And these passes connecting well and clean as Drapeau looks to disrupt the play for the Cougars. 5-on-5 overtime here. Emmy Fecteau with a chance on Ross. It's stopped in front of the net, and it's blown down.
That one got caught under Ross somehow in her goaltending equipment. In any case, the Stingers very rarely give up this many goals. The last time they gave up 3 or more goals was actually on this very ice in Game 2 of the RCQ Final against Montreal. Prior to that, the only other time this calendar year they've given up 3 or more was to the Ottawa GGs in an overtime loss on January 27th. So,
and we're underway with the draw quick here in the Cougars zone. Again, we're in overtime of the gold medal game, and Courtney Coleman, who opened scoring for the tournament, coming in quick, looking for that feed to Captain Amy. Sandrine Veillette keeping it away from Amy. Amy hoping to get a stick on it in the Stinger zone. Aaliyah Joma settling it down along the near wall. She'll rim it around. Amy back behind the goal line. Thibault with a touch on it. Stingers, these big passes, trying to make something happen. Boyer skirting in front. That unable to connect now as the Cougars, they've got a wily pass. Will be an icing call on that one, Graham.
And I think, as we said earlier, this is an easy game for the officials to officiate, really, because especially when it gets to overtime, no players want to take penalties, and officials don't want to call them. So I would expect this to be a very clean overtime. It's going to have to be something really egregious for the arms to go up.
And a defensive zone draw for the Cougars. It's gloved by Ross. But of course, the Stingers, Justine Yell, she has been fired up and with one of her best performances of the tournament in this game.
And during the break there in between the third period and the overtime, I think it comes down so much for the coaches managing emotions. Just Concordia making sure they don't get too down. In fact, they just gave up the lead. And then MRU making sure they're not too high after a really crazy goal.
And right in front of the net again. Cougars hoping to create some space and put some speed on it. Benko to Kaya Borbandi, back to Benko. No, Kaya, and that's an offside. As the puck just gets away from them a little bit.
As I was saying, that's the psychological bit of being a coach, I think. You have to know, it's always nice as a coach when you want to uplift everyone. You want to be the one to say, okay, here we go. Let's go again. That's what Julie Chu and her staff had to do at the break. And then if you're Scott Rivet and his staff, it's about kind of, okay, managing things. Let's get down to business. It's still tied. We haven't won the thing yet.
Yeah, what a high. 1.8 seconds left in the game, and that's when they get the tying third goal here in overtime, though, as Emmy Fecteau looks to put it away for the Stingers. And Bejan Cyr out on the line, now a chance. That one stopped by Ross, and she bats it out, but it's sent back. Again, body sacrificed, and Ross trying to keep track of it. It touches the post. Now along the far wall, Phil Bear. Back to Fecteau. Fecteau fires it, stopped by Ross. She's all over that puck now.
And it touched the post, but not before Laura Cook with a couple of key blocked shots, getting down into the shooting lanes and preventing them from getting through. Judging by the gentlemen who are just behind the goal, who are apparently Stingers fans, that one was awfully close. There's the shot from Boyer. There's the block from Cook. Or it may actually be a Hawk who got the block, and then there's the one just going off the post. So close, but the Stingers starting us overtime on the front foot. And
now we're going to have another defensive zone draw for the Cougars. A chance for the Stingers, who've been having plenty here in the sudden death overtime. It's 5-on-5. Just over 4 minutes into this one. This will set up. Tatum Amy wins it, and Williams looks for it down deep. And Sandrine Veillette for the Stingers, though.
Uh-oh, look out.
Amy, here comes Coleman, coming up deep, and it's saved by Phil Bear in massive fashion. The official sliding on the ice, can't get control. And this overtime carries on in dramatic fashion as it does. Alexandria Spence will settle it down for the Cougars back behind the net to Williams.
Always something to spice things up, but don't take away from that huge save from Phil Bear. Kind of moving the wrong way, and she had to stick out the blocker and parried it away.
Yeah, now James dumping it down deep as Morgan Ramsey goes in for the chase. And along the near side point now. It is an offside. You mentioned 4 acres and that overtime winner, but 4 acres now, an assistant coach alongside actually Cougars captain Tatum Amy. back for the Calgary Fire AAA team out of there. So talk about just histories meeting and intertwining.
Yeah, you know, Brittany Four Acres was a great player for the McGill Martlets program for so many years, a leader on the back end. And I'll be honest, I didn't know that she scored the overtime winner until I looked it up. But when I saw it, I wasn't at all surprised because she was a player who really had a knack for the big moments.
And right now, this is a big moment. The Cougars trying to get going here. It is 5-on-5 overtime in the gold medal game of this 2023 championship. Fecto touching the boards, but undeterred, still going for it. As the Cougars end up on the ice, that's Hawk. And now this could be a moment. No, that's stifled by McNinch, but Fecto will weave through. And here they come, Bejan Cyr. It'll force the draw back into the Cougar zone.
That one took a couple of deflections on its way through. And we talked earlier about Concordia trying to be repeat national champions. And a game like this just highlights just how hard it is to do it. We haven't seen a repeat national champion since the McGill Martlets back in the late aughts. You know, led by Peter Smith and Stuart McCarthy, who are sitting just to our right. So a game like this just highlights how hard it is. On paper, yeah, Concordia maybe should have been favored, but here we are in overtime.
And the Stingers, Boyer, looking for a good bounce there. Now Gendreau into the far corner for the Stingers. Thibault and in front of the net. Now out over on the other side, they'll go wide, looking for whatever they can do, whatever avenues and open lanes they can get here. Down to Boyer on the near side point. Thibault out there as well, battling Mackenzie Butts. Cougars trying to defend here and just clear the puck out of their zone. It's overtime and loose puck now. Benko up to Ava Metzger. She'll just drop it down deep for quick changes. Abby Borbandy out there along with Aaliyah Joma, Tori Williams, Courtney Coleman in blue. Justine Yeldo trying to get to the puck in the far corner. And Concordia, Yell, as they look to move the puck out of their end. Moquen Joubert, and that's going to be a massive penalty coming against the Cougars.
Coleman claiming it was a dive. The official had to think about it. I mean, it's tough to say from up here, isn't it? And it's actually going to be Tori Williams who goes off. Really a tough call to make. We'll have a look at it here. You know, throwing the arm up in the air, that's borderline decision from the officials, but they raised the arm, and here we go.
A massive penalty kill for the Cougars to stay alive in this gold medal game overtime. Right now, Fecto getting her stick on the puck, looking for Bejan Cyr. That one sent all the way down. A good start for the Cougars, but the Stingers know what they are capable of. They have proven their success on special teams.
And in overtime, we have the long change. Only one fresh penalty killer out there for the Cougars.
And now, Fecto fires it down. That one just slightly wide. Bit of a mistiming on that, but had it connected now from the point. Setting up, looking for a fake there. Philbert to Drapeau. Bejan Cyr fires it. It's high again. And Bergeson will chip it down. Overtime. And now the Stingers find themselves in good company. Boyer flings it hard against the backboard that time. Bureau Gagnon keeping it in along the blue line. Lavoie teeing up here. Now back to Boyer, looking for some traffic. Kaya Borbandy hoping to get her stick on it. Less than a minute to go here in this power play for the Stingers in the gold medal game, overtime as it is. And they're taking patience over here. Lavoie to Boyer. Boyer looking to get in close. Kaya Borbandy hoping to backhand it out. Can't. Boyer still in play.
Watch Gendreau backdoor.
And now Lavoie. Yeah, Gendreau waiting for it. Bureau Gagnon just behind. Weaving around, causing that motion. Oh, and in front of the net, the entire arena just gasping. Boyer coming in close, faking a wind-up, looking for Gendreau. Soft touches here. Now wind-up, and that one saved. In fact, that could have been blocked by one of her own. Final 23 seconds here of this Stingers power play during overtime at that in the gold medal game. And we will be back to even strength, Graham.
Emma Burgesson was out for the entire 2 minutes, and now she's getting off the ice. That's what happens when there's the long change in overtime. It makes it so difficult to get off the ice, especially when you have Alice Filbert, who's pretty good at handling the puck. It was her good puck handling that prevented Burgesson from getting off the ice, and it was something where maybe if the Stingers could have attacked towards her, they could have made her pay and taken advantage of some tired legs.
And so back to even strength, but still sudden death overtime here with the gold medal on the line, and Drapeau getting in the mix, but the Cougars flexing their might on a very tough challenge, going against a Stingers team that came into this game 7-14 on the power play. Fecteau moving in fast. Not the defending champs for nothing. Richard pushing back into the Cougars zone. Captain Tatum Amy. What a final game in Cougars blue for the captain. And now Gendreau teeing up. Lavoie calling for it. Coming in close. It goes behind. The speed just getting away from the Stingers. Now from the point, wound up Filbert to McIntyre. McIntyre down around the backboards. Thibault collecting it far side to Filbert. Filbert changing places, creating motion and movement. Into the near side corner. McIntyre from the near point now to Lavoie. And the Cougars, Laura Cook, who's made some big body blocks, looking to clear it out, can't quite do it. McNinch hoping to get to Hawk, they do. And here's Metzger teeing up, and a shot. Oh, it's sent sailing out by Alice Filbert. Massive save on the blocker side. And into the near side corner now. A board battle. I don't think it'll get blown down. It isn't. This time the Cougars. Benko firing it in, and a bit of a bounce there. Metzger hoping to meet the puck on the far side. Alexandria Spence can't keep it in. Here is Bureau Gagnon. She's got to get by Mackenzie Butts. And that one deflected up high into the mesh.
Best chance of overtime for the Cougars coming right there, and it's hard to tell from up here if Filbert made the stop or if it went straight to the post. In any case, it stays out.
And the composure from these netminders. Shots on goal favoring Concordia 32-23, but here we are tied at 3 in this gold medal game. Overtime, we've now crossed the halfway mark of this first overtime period. Another defensive zone draw for the Cougars. They've faced a number of them so far in this overtime. It is 5-on-5 hockey if you're just joining us. And right now, MRU Cougars looking to work the puck out of their zone. They do. Aaliyah Joma with a chance. She'll fire it in. And it's in! Mount Royal University Cougars are your new U Sports Women's Hockey Champions. And what a moment! History made on the ice in Montreal. Say what you will, the number 8 seed took down the top seed and came through the semifinals to meet themselves in this very moment. Their very first medal, a very first gold for the entire university out in Calgary, Alberta, and the Canada West finalists come home as the national champions. Disappointed, but they should not be in what was an incredible effort from a team that is class and poised as defending champions. They'll finish as silver medalists this year in front of a very proud home crowd.
And the roar of the crowd there is probably won't end up getting a replay on the goal, and ultimately it doesn't really matter how it went in. All that matters is that it went in, and a huge congratulations to Mount Royal University, and you can see what it means for them there. We've talked at length this tournament, Daniela, about what this program's all about. you know, how they've come up from really being a college team to then becoming a university team and in youth sports, and how they have to come up in the shadow of the Calgary Dinos to an extent, and you know, finally getting their moment in the sun. And there's Renaud Saint Laurent, SID of Montreal, giving a wave, and a shout out to Lauren Zandy, SID of Mount Royal. We'll have some fun content to put out, and it's worthy for the Stingers who had the Cougars who had a tremendous tournament.
And it's such a big moment here when you consider a final game for Captain Tatum Amy. And Graham, you were just saying how she missed opportunities not once, not twice, but 3 times to get into the FISU World University Games. So she didn't get that gold medal with Canada due to an injury this year, but she got it with her Cougars in blue for the final time. And you can feel the emotion on the ice, honestly, on both sides. Of course, these two teams giving it their all. And that goal, guess what? Scored by defenseman Emma Bergeson. We talk about how much time she was spending out there, all she did on that penalty kill, and that was huge in the overtime. There's tears all over the ice right now, helped by Aaliyah Joma, no less. And what a tremendous season for both these teams, but a farewell and just a complete incredible moment for especially the graduating players: Mackenzie Butts, Cameron Amundsen, Morgan Ramsey, Tori Williams, Tatum Amy, Taylor Saka, who was not on the ice but such a big part of those games as well. And you look at Alice Filbert, Captain Olivia Hale, Alex Boulanger, Rosalie Béjancir, who also played in their final games here. Tori Williams as well, a graduating player for Mount Royal. I mentioned her, and Laura Cook, Courtney Coleman, who opened scoring. And that's a way to bookend the tournament, Graham. Your team opens scoring game 1, day 1, and you close it out with this overtime winner. Again, something you don't see often at a championship final, at least not in the history of U Sports women's hockey.
Yeah, well, it's the 4th one to go to overtime, and RSEQ schools have lost 3 of them, unfortunately, for the RSEQ schools. But really the best of Canadian university women's hockey on display. And I mean, people were saying coming in, it's Concordia's tournament to lose, and that's what happens, right? It's so hard to win these, and the Cougars just bent, would not break.
And I mean, this crowd in Quebec has been tremendous to everyone. Of course, the Cougars crowd certainly very grateful to have made the trip as they did. Of course they would, to come watch this. I may have mentioned it early on, but Mount Royal as an entire school has only had 2 teams face off in medal games, and the women's volleyball team, who did it last year, took home silver, and here are the women's hockey team just taking home gold. And this is truly and really in a lot of ways their first meaningful appearance, but technically their second. So an interesting stat is that they are 4-0 now in nationals games, but a first championship win, because of course they got that quarterfinal win in their very first championship, but that was back in 2020, and then the world stopped for COVID.
Yeah, and it's really amazing for these Cougars players. They come from all over out west and to unite here, and it's remarkable. You look at someone like Kiana McNinch from Turtleford, Saskatchewan, population 525, and there's going to be a good party back in Turtleford whenever she gets back there. And another is Cam Amundsen from Debden, Saskatchewan, same hometown as Fred Sasakamoose, who is a good hockey player and a great ambassador for the game, and that town has a population of less than well under 1,000. So so hopefully they're celebrated accordingly when they head back. They're certainly going to be celebrated when they get back to Calgary, and they'll be celebrated when they go back to their hometowns as well. Just
a huge win. We talked about the last time Canada West touched gold. That was the Manitoba Bisons back in 2019. Just got to check those notes, but either way, it's 2018 rather. That was the most recent time, and here they are. And what's even More intriguing is the dramatic storyline that will unfold when next year's U Sports Women's Hockey Championship comes to Canada West. It will be hosted for the first time ever in Saskatoon, the University of Saskatchewan, putting on the big show inside Merlis Belcher Place. Can't say enough, though, about the host Montreal Carabin, what they've been able to do here at Sepsum in their campus and drawing large crowds, bringing some fantastic energy to this, and we'll now head down to the PA announcer to take in the medal ceremonies.
Tout d'abord, merci aux officiels du match. First, thanks to the official of this game, Grace Barlow, Michelle McKenna, ainsi que les juges de ligne, Lance Person, Stéphanie Gagnon et Justine Todd. Maintenant, les deux joueurs du match, and now the two MVP of this game. Pour les Stingers, the player of the game for the Stingers, la numéro 6, number 6, Léonie Philbert. Maintenant, la joueuse du match pour les Cougars. Now the player of the game for the Cougars. La numéro 18, number 18, Brianne Trotter. Voici maintenant les membres de l'équipe d'étoiles du championnat. Now the members of the All-Star team of the tournament. Pour les Stingers de Concordia, pour Concordia Stingers, attaquante, forward, la numéro 13, number 13, Rosalie Béjancir. Ne peut être avec nous, can be with us. Des Thunderbirds, attaquant from the Thunderbirds, forward, la numéro 37, number 37, Joël Fiala. Des Cougars de Montreal, from the Cougars of Montreal, attaquant, forward, la numéro 18, number 18, Brianne Trotter. Ne peut également être avec nous, can be with us also, from the Varsity Blues of the Toronto University, the Varsity Blues de l'Université de Toronto, à la défense, la numéro 24, number 24, Emma Potter. Également absente des Thunderbirds, from Thunderbirds, la numéro 22, number 22, Sophia Gaskell. Et la gardienne étoile du championnat and a goaltender for the All-Star team from the Cougar Montreal, the Cougars de Montreal, la numéro 32, number 32, Caitlin Ross. Et finalement, la joueuse par excellence du championnat. Now the MVP of the championship. From the Cougars of Montreal University, des Cougars de l'Université de Montréal, la numéro 32, number 32, Caitlin Ross. Pour remettre les médailles d'argent et d'or, nous invitons maintenant Pour remettre les médailles d'argent et d'or, nous invitons maintenant sur la glace. To give the silver and gold medals, we now invite on the ice the Director of Recreation and Athletics for Concordia University, Mr. Darcy Ryan. And the Associate Director of Athletics for Concordia University, Graham McGravy. Directors of Cougars Athletics, Carla Korj. S'occupant des opérations des Jeux internationaux du U-Sports International Games Operation Manager, Madame Alexandra Roy. Nous invitons donc les joueuses des Stingers de Concordia à recevoir leur médaille d'argent. We now invite the players of the Concordia University Stingers to receive their silver medal. Par ordre de numéro, je vais énumérer les joueuses et le personnel des Stingers. By numerical number, I will call all the players and the staff for the Concordia Stingers. Gardienne, goaltender, Jordan Verbeek. Attaquant forward, Brody Levitt. Défenseur, defense, Olivia Hale. Attaquant forward, Chloé Gendreau. Défenseuse, defense, Léonie Filbert. Attaquante, forward, Zoé Thibault. Défenseuse, defense, Sandrine Veillette. Attaquante, forward, Justine Yel. Attaquante, forward, Alexandra Boulanger. Défenseuse, defense, Rachel McIntyre. Attaquante, forward, Rosalie Bégin-Cyr. Jessie Maude Drapeau. Courtney Rice. Mégane Bureau-Gagnon. Caroline Moquin-Joubert. Défenseuse, defense, Camille Richard. Attaquante, forward, Amy Fecteau. Goaltender, gardienne de but, Alice Filbert. Gardienne de but, goaltender, Madison Hoax. Attaquante, forward, Christina Status. Émilie Lavoie. Défenseuse, defense, Alexandra Anne Boyer. Entraîneur en chef, head coach, Julie Chu. Entraîneuse en chef adjointe, Caroline Ouellette. Assistant entraîneur, assistant coach, Lauriane Rougeau, Dave Singh, Erica Porter et Devon Thompson. Entraîneur des gardiens de but, goalie coach, Olivier Gervais. Manager equipment, gérant d'équipement, Rachel Gagnon et Andrew Davis. Nous invitons donc maintenant les joueuses des Cougars de Montreal. We now invite the Cougars Montreal players to come to receive their gold medal, de recevoir leur médaille d'or. Ce sera le même processus également pour les Cougars. That's going to be the same process for the Cougars. Défenseuse, defense, Yuri Hansen Young. Attaquante, forward, Mackenzie Lopel. Defense, défenseuse, Abby Borbandi. Défenseuse, defense, Mackenzie Botts. Attaquante, forward, Sydney Benko. Cameron Amundsen. Morgan Ramsey. Ava Metzger. Lindsay James. John Dean Hunt. Kiana McNitch. Tori Williams at defense. Attaquant forward, Tatum Amy. Kaya Borbandi. Brian Trotter. Addie Gerard. Défenseuse défense, Alex Spence. Attaquant forward, Taylor Saka. Défenseuse défense, Emma Bergusson. Laura Cook. Attaquante forward, Alia Joma. Défenseuse défense, Tiana Yaremko. Attaquant forward, Athena Hawk. Gardienne de but goaltender, Scott Anderson. Caitlin Ross. Attaquante forward, Courtney Coleman. Entraîneur en chef, head coach, Scott Rivas. Et le personnel entraîneur adjoint, assistant coaches, Casey Davidson, Mika Zendiart. Gardien de but, entraîneur de gardien de but, goalie coach, Todd Ford. Et athletic therapist student, Taylor Federock and Anna Mastol. Pour la remise à la bannière du championnat, for the presentation of the championship banner, nous invitons maintenant sur la glace la directrice générale du Sepsum et des Carabins, Madame Manon Simard. Nous invitons donc l'entraîneur en chef. We now invite the head coach of the Cougars, Montreal, to come in center of the ice pour recevoir la bannière du championnat, to receive the championship banner.
Head coach Scott Rivet alongside Captain Tatum Amy holding the U Sports Women's Hockey banner that will soon hang in the home barn of the Mount Royal University Cougars. A few others joining them for this moment. As they await the Golden Path Trophy to come along with it. The assistant captains, Laura Cook, Lindsay Janes, Brianne Trotter. And Captain Tatum Amy getting excited to touch the trophy. Who wouldn't be? Now Tatum Amy gets to proudly hold the Golden Path Trophy, hoisting it in the air as her team rallies around her. Again, the Mount Royal University Cougars, the number 8 seed, toppling the top seed Toronto Varsity Blues in that Game 1 quarterfinal, opening scoring for the entire tournament, a 3-2 win. Then through the semifinal round, a 3-1 win over the Montreal Carabins. And they take down another RSEQ opponent in the Concordia Stingers for a 4-3 win in overtime to take home gold, to take home the national banner, the title, and this, the Golden Path Trophy. On behalf of Graham Naismith and our entire U Sports on CBC crew in Montreal, I am Daniela Ponticelli. Good night.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.